Yes, good people, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I wholeheartedly offer whatever suits your time zone. More importantly, blue morning to you because, in fact, it is the Blue Morning Show. I hope you're all eating blue, sleeping blue, waking up blue, and overall living the blue life. Today, we don't have too much lined up, but as usual, because of the way we operate, lots of you in the chat will bring up some topic at some point, and we may decide to talk about a few of them. So that's why, yeah, it's about all of us here. So sit back, relax, and let's get into the show. Yes, people, it's about all of us. It's interactive. It's about you. It's about Chelsea. It's about you and the panelists here. If that is, if anybody comes on, yes, people, because these days a lot of people, a lot of the panelists are very busy and bills don't pay themselves. So I understand. But that's by the way. Let me see who we have in the chat. Before I do anything, I want to let my brother Liam Lane, if you're watching, please just know I haven't forgotten about you. Always remains about you, remembers you, but haven't had the time to send you messages to find out how you're doing. I hope you're recovering really, really quick. Thank you so much. Um, Rahayu, my bro, the 343 dilemma, aka the 343 dilemma. I hope you're doing well, brother. He says, big up, coach. Thanks, coach. More thanks to you, brother. I cannot thank you enough for all the support, for becoming a member. I know you don't have to, but you just did that because you wanted to support the channel. That does go a long way for the channel. So thank you so much. Let's go. Yes, let's go, brother. Let's go. We're on it right now. Good morning, Coach Ladi Pupo Mesole. Nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. My bro, morning, Coachella. Trust you're doing great. Yes, I'm great. I can't complain. Any day above ground is a good day. So thank you so much for asking that. Oh yeah. We will. We will talk about that. So the question is whether he's frustrated at the form overall or the manager. I know there will be lots of interpretation, but we just need to talk about that. See, get a perspective from the panelists, get perspective also from those in the chat, what they think that means. Today, my bro DJ is early. I still suspect he's at work, but just want to come on and support his bro. But whatever the situation is, I appreciate you finding time to be on the panel, brother. Boehly is a showman. His actions indicates that he swings along with the flow of results. Yeah, we all do, because if you paid attention to people's responses when we won three in a row, we heard less. Then we didn't hear too much about Potter out until that game. Even that day, people weren't saying that much until yeah the result. When we were playing well, lots of us were saying we're playing well, and even I was saying we're playing well. And you, I remember, Michael, you were also saying we were playing well. Morning, coach. Let's get it started, Potter. The flop by Chelsea Blue. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. And to those of you that are watching, but for some reason or the other cannot be part of the conversation in the chat, we appreciate you because you provide so much value to the channel. And if you can, just do us one tiny bitty favor. We'd really like you to take some time, half a second, drop a like on the stream because the likes do go a long way for the channel. It triggers the YouTube algorithm, which in turn pushes the stream to more people to join us here. So thank you, but more importantly, thank you. And if you cannot do us that favor, still thank you to you because you contribute a lot to the growth of the channel. So that's by the way. We move on. I'll come to DJ my bro in a bit. Potter got figured he's gonna abandon his turtleneck shirt. Start wearing a tracksuit like TT for our next game. You think so? Just excuse me. So you think the turtleneck lock doesn't work anymore? Okay, let's see. Coach, imagine Potter sent us into the international break frustrated. I seriously, even though I still have questions with regards to his tactical ability, I don't think I blame him much for whatever happened on the day. The only question I have: what does Gallagher do when he comes on the pitch? The running alone doesn't help. If anything, yeah, he runs quite a lot, but that he causes more confusion on the pitch uh, than uh, than he helps, if that makes sense. But that's, by the way, I'm gonna come to my bro DJ and find out how he's doing. DJ, big up to you. Surprised you're able to join this early today. Looks like you're working from home or not working
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, no, big up, brother. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. No, I'm actually off today. I've got a couple of days. I've had to take a
Oh.
holiday. I had to take some holiday, bro, because they were carrying off. You know, when you work a certain time, they have to carry your holidays forward. There's only time period they can keep it. They can keep your days. So they go. You need to take them off before the new holiday begins. So I've just kind of like taken some days off where I needed to. So there's things to do around the house. My wife's already given me things I need to do around the house anyway. So,
Yeah.
so I've been doing things already.
Yeah,
No,
it's not about resting. You have to do this. You have to do the other one.
Yeah. I've already been given the washing of clothes, the putting the clothes on the stand, the clothes on the washing outside, the usual kind of like thing. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of that this morning, to be honest with you. But no, listen, on the game, bro, what can I say? I do blame Potter for Saturday's game, to be honest with you. I think it's his changes, to be fair. I mean, I think what I'll say is, just to ease off my, my, because I went to the game, as you know, and I thought I'd just come back off the game. I was so depressed after the game. I thought I turned on and put a Harry Potter movie on, and so sad that I'm watching Harry Potter's movie. And there was a movie, one of the spells of Wingardium, whatever it's called. What it basically means in a spell in Harry Potter where they float somebody away. I was hoping that'd be Harry Potter. I was hoping that'd be Graham Potter floating away out of Stamford Bridge. I hope he could be out of Stamford Bridge, mate. Because after that game on Saturday, mate, it was so depressing. Honestly, it was like. We were 2-1 up. I mean, what got me as well, Coach Hilly, I tell you, I don't know if you saw a tweet afterwards. What do you call it? He was moaning at Kai Havertz for celebrating his goal. Because he gave the when he scored that penalty kick, he put his hands to his ear and then he stuck his tongue out towards the goalkeeper. And apparently he made a comment about saying, "Oh, well, I wasn't really happy about Kai Havertz's celebration." What's the guy supposed to do?
To be worried about than that.
I mean, come on, mate. But why would you not celebrate? Why are you turn on your own player for celebrating a goal? And because he done a bit of banter with the goalkeeper, you're telling your goal. You're literally telling your person that, I was gutted with the celebration wasn't good by Kai Havertz. I'm like, what the heck, man? What does this guy need to do? He scores a goal, and you're moaning at him for celebrating a goal. I mean, come on.
Yes,
I mean,
that's part of being confident. That's what you see from players when they're confident. They can be arrogant, but that's not bad. Here's the thing, like I said, that he has a lot more to be concerned about than how Kai Havertz celebrated his goal. Here's the thing, I'm not sure what really to say, but with regards to the changes before we move on to this topics we have lined up on the screen here. Yeah. No, you don't have to say sorry. You have every right to talk about that. Here's the thing, the changes he made, like I said, in my opinion, I still have lots of questions with regards to his tactical ability. 100%. Gallagher coming on is what I do not understand. We have natural wingers that could have slotted perfectly well in that position, even if the application is not again in the matter of even if they played as 8 or inside forwards or whatever. I believe Nani could have done better even on the left. Yeah. We have Mudryk also who could have done better in that particular position. I get it. Gallagher does a lot of running, but he brings more confusion. Whenever he's on, we seem more confused than we were before. We lose coordination. Let me just put it that way. The other changes, when he made it, a lot of people were happy that he was shutting. Whatever time he did it, I didn't care that much because the truth remains, we've won 3 games in a row, but we're still shaky. The ship isn't still quite stable at this point. So him making that move, maybe he made it too early. Maybe he should have waited a bit. I get it. We have fine players. On paper we have one of the best squad in the league. But the truth remains, was still not stable yet. So I don't blame him trying to stabilize the ship. But we move on from that. When it has happened, it has happened. He did. Do I think he's still? Do I think he's the man? No. The only time I thought he was the man was when we hired him, and when I heard the rumors that he was going to be the one to take over from Thomas Tuchel. But I'm not into Potter out, #Potter out, because he won't change anything. There's so much the owners will consider before letting him go on that, but I won't blame him that much on that for that particular game. Sure. That's funny, DJ. Your story of watching a Graham Potter movie after that performance.
Because my daughter had it on. I didn't actually specifically put my daughter had it on when I came home, so it was just on. Mm-hmm. So I just ended up sitting there watching it with her, and it's like, goodness me, it's like, and that just happened. That part of the movie that came on where they were doing, I think we're learning how to do. I don't know. I think it was the first one where they're learning how to float a feather, and I heard the words to that, and I just thought about that. It just came to my mind. Sorry about that. It just came to my mind.
About him getting out. I have to say sorry. That's why. Look, we're humans here, and because we operate as a family, we like such stories. It spices up the whole seriousness. Because other than that, it will be all serious the whole day. It won't be fun for us, if that makes sense.
No.
That's why the DJ. Yeah, that's right. At the time, the turning against his own player. Yeah, like what the heck is that? Like I said, he has more problems to deal with than talk about the celebration of a player who's high on confidence. If the player hears that, that could may well turn things backwards for him. Okay, the Chelsea boy 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, or 12:34 if you prefer.
Yep.
Says Potter out. Okay, coach. So that means Graham Potter is not a confident person. Unlike Kai Havertz, you could interpret it to that, but that's not how I see it. I'm just saying he has more problems to deal with than complain about Kai Havertz's celebration. It's as simple as that. You should ask somebody like Sam Allardyce, or even what's the guy that was given 8-year contract about celebration, or even what's Lampard's uncle. Harry Redknapp. I remember him saying something about Emmanuel Adebayo celebrating in front of City fans when he left City and I think joined them. He said he doesn't care. Let him celebrate if that's how he feels like he should celebrate. That's football. That's fun part of the whole thing we watch. He just lacks our mentality and DNA. Extremely boring. And here's the one that surprised me the most during an interview where he used even the the F-bomb, saying, then we're going to win the FM Champions League. Maybe I'm misquoting him. Then the next day when he was asked about it, he turned it into, I said we were going to try to win the FM. I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but I hate talking about him right now, seriously. Because it doesn't change anything. It will just go ahead. You wanted to say something?
No, nothing. I'm just saying big up to everybody in the. Sorry, I forgot to big up to everybody in the comments. By the way, please carry on hitting the like button and continue to obviously support the channel as you guys always do. I've seen the usual regulars always on your stream, bro. Big up to every single one of them. They're always here.
Yeah.
So big up to them all. And that's all it was really, is to the people in the comments really. And for you to carry on, I'll say my talk after you've had your bit. But I just wanted to say big up to everyone in the comments.
All right, and we have all of them there, the regulars, the family members.
Yeah.
But the beautiful game is the family member. You don't want to come embarrass you in public all the time. So I don't like seeing the beautiful game. You know what I mean?
He's already come with one of his comments.
Pundits blamed Kepa for the second goal. They felt he should have done better. Even I feel like he should have done better. Some people are blaming Koulibaly. But the question is, why was he on the right side in the first place? I know sometimes he operates like a 6 because we don't have a true 6. And if we had a true 6 on the pitch, the true 6 should have been the one going after the guy there. Why Koulibaly waits for, again, in case they get beaten. But also questions about Chalobah's positioning. Once he read the situation, he should have drifted to the right and covered the space that the guy would have run into before shooting. But I don't want to discuss that game, honestly. We were playing defensively against Daesh ball, Haram ball, if you prefer. Why did we have 5-4-1? Why did we not have an outlet for counter-attack or just to hold the ball? A question I seriously cannot answer, but I know where you're coming from. Not gonna lie, I am so worried because Graham Potter is a 30% win rate guy. 3 wins out of 10. We had our 3 wins, fourth draw, a draw against Everton. Does that mean next 6 games are, draws and losses? I am not sure whether history will repeat itself, but if you're comparing our results right now to the result he had at Brighton when he played an equal amount of games, it doesn't differ that much. So it's really concerning. That doesn't necessarily mean that will repeat at Chelsea because we have a better crop of players, and nearly all of them are back, especially when Kante comes back. I think we'll be even more stronger. The question now is, will he even get to mix it up in the midfield area? Like pair Kante with one of the hybrid sixes we have there, Enzo or Kovacic. We don't know what the man is going to do. That's the concern there. When the Real Madrid first leg ends in a cricket score, I want to hear Boehly's intelligent response to that. Big up, coach. Big up to you too, brother. I hope you're doing well.
Big up the beautiful game. Big up to you,
brother. Big up. We need Enrique in before our preseason. Who knows? If they have the plans to sack Graham Potter, chances are they're already talking to the next manager. But I'm sure they have questions themselves. Coach Potter, it's a social experiment with Chelsea right now. Yeah, you have every right to say it like that. All Potter is doing is making it hard for English managers to get a job. Oh, you must be English yourself and you don't like that. God of Frogs, let's have it right. This run gun Graham Potter party. Yeah, he couldn't win a cup of tea. Wow.
Wow,
some comment there. Some comment there from Graham Potter. Coach, I just don't understand. You got a chance for all English managers to manage a top 6 club and do good, but keep messing it up. Sorry for future English managers if Potter gets a sack. He may well dent their record, but that doesn't mean they won't get a chance. I think they will still get a chance, but I know exactly where you're coming from. Some good points right there. If you're watching, if you haven't, take a second, drop a like on the stream, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Here's the bad guy of the house. Coach, slightly off topic, which was
Williams save.
Williams saved Sussex, or was the fact that Sussex one was against Chelsea. I have to be honest, I watched that Manchester United Fulham game haphazardly. I didn't see the Williams save. I could have easily picked one, but yeah, I didn't. But DJ, maybe you talk about that in a bit before we move on. Big up to the panel, Chelsea all the way. Big up to you too. That man that does not know what he's doing, giving a Ferrari to a UK truck driver. Okay, here's what I want to say. As much as that is funny, please let's stop mentioning some points. It depends on your comments. Stop mentioning nationality, because it will come. It could. Even I know you don't mean that, but it will come across as insulting to some people. And it can be. Technically, it can be insulting. Or let's not use nationality anymore. But big up to you, my brother Adebayo. Why the hell is Potter going defensive against a relegation team?
Very good question.
Explain what I thought, again, he was doing. The ship isn't really stable yet. Even the Beautiful game thought he was doing well. And by the way, the Beautiful game thought it was a good decision. He was shocked that he was making those changes, trying to win a game. I think we needed more wins because even those games we've won, it wasn't like we blew all the oppositions out of the water in all of them, if that makes sense. But I get your argument there. Coach, I am actually from Trinidad, Caribbean. I'll big up to see you here, my Trinidad and Tobago brother. But I actually wanted to see Potter do good. The same. I defended him for a while, but I can't say the last game was all his fault. So I'm not going to start saying I will hate discussing about him that much today. Wanted to see Potter do good. Yeah, I was the same too. I still want him to do good. I'm seeing the future of Mendy. What about the future of Kepa? We'll talk about both of them when we get there. Potter is clueless. 1-0 lead, and he plays a 3-6-1 formation. Get rid of Potter. DJ, here's the one I wanted you to talk about.
Yeah,
What one is
please
that?
do.
Did I highlight it here?
What's
It's
happening?
not this one.
Yeah.
What was it again? Oh, this one here.
Yeah.
From the
Yeah.
Bluetooth game. Your
Yeah.
thoughts, which of them do you think is worse? The one from Sisek, or if you watched it? I did see that of William.
Yeah, I saw Williams one yesterday. Listen, we all love William. He's a former Chelsea player, and I'm gutted. I was actually gutted for Fulham yesterday because I actually wanted him to do something there. But yeah, I mean, the way he did say, you could blatantly tell he did hit his hand, and when they were almost going to score that goal, and it was a rightful decision for him to I don't know. I thought red card was a bit. I guess because I think the referee felt he had to send him off because he stopped a goal scoring opportunity because the ball was going to the back of the net. But he obviously used his hand to clear it, and so I could understand why the referee gave him a straight red for that. But yeah, I mean, on the Souček one, I mean, I can't remember the Souček one. I think I'm still going to blame the Souček one being worse, though, obviously, because it's West Ham.
It was very well disguised by him.
Yeah, it was well disguised. It was well disguised by him, but I have to say, it still was what I still say probably Williams was a blatant because it was blatant. You could tell it hit off his hand, and why the referee did what he needed to do. I guess because Souček disguised it well a little bit while it didn't really happen as bad, but. Yeah, I mean, it was one of those situations. As I said, I was a bit gutted for Fulham yesterday because I really wanted them to do well. I wanted them to beat Manchester United yesterday, but hey, they let it all slip away in a space of, I'd say, a crazy 10 minutes because you saw not only William get sent off, you saw Marco Silva get sent off from the touchline as well when the referee was checking on the VR on the screen. He went and said something. He was sent off. And then you also saw then the stupidest thing Mitrovic had to go and do. He went and pushed the referee, arguing in his face. You don't push the referee in the game regardless, and then you got a straight red card. He deserved it. So more or less, Fulham just blew that opportunity yesterday. They could have done. There were other than that, mate. They had 3 glorious opportunities to actually go 2 or 3-0 up from 2 Mitrovic headers. That was one was saved by the goalkeeper, and I think another one was off the line by one of the Man United players. So they could have been way out of sight in that game, but they blew it from those stupid decisions at the end. But it's what it is at the end of the day, Kutcher. United went through rightfully through afterwards with 9 men on the pitch. You don't expect anything else apart from one winner, especially at Old Trafford as well.
Yeah. Enough of the off-topic stuff from the bad one in the family. That's by the way. Top 4 not guaranteed. All thanks to Mr. Potter. Hopefully. The boys will turn up against Real Madrid. Smeek, it's nice to see you. I appreciate you finding time to join the show. Thank you. And it looks like this is your first time here. Thank you so much. Welcome. Feel at home. Express yourself. Just keep it civil. And if you haven't, please take a second, drop a like on the stream, and also do subscribe. For a guy who has a degree in human emotions, you think he would stop acting like a loser? A loser mentality spreads onto the players, which is what Potter is guilty of. Really? Okay. Some argument from God of Frog right there. Coach, I may have to employ Roger so I can sue you for liable. Well, is that pronounced? Is that libel or liable?
Liable. It's liable, bro.
Okay, liable. I was being sarcastic with my Potter comment. Really? Look at you. Look at him. He's denying he was happy Potter was making some changes yesterday. On Saturday, that's Ghazi Abadamte. Nice to see you, Ghazi Abadamte. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. Potter was stupid enough to untimely change Fofana. Fofana was injured. It wasn't he was forced to make that change. He had a hamstring, and I think it would have been worse with him on the pitch. If that, he's going to be out now for at least 10 days. Chaotic, I get. Chaotic, João Felix and Pulisic, he must have taken responsibility for the loss of 3 points. I don't think so, but I get where you're coming from. In the case of Fofana, he was carrying a hamstring injury. You never push an official unless, of course, you are Bruno. That's another controversial one there from he's trying to tell you Bruno did it and got away with it. But yeah, I get it. Big up, Coach Sam.
Big up, Glenn. Big up,
Glenn. And people in the chat. I'd rather you call him DJ because if you call him Sam, I think you were calling him Stav. That's by the way.
Oh God.
DJ Sam, he's saying hello to you. But thank you, Glenn. Glenn. I know you. I hope you're coping with your 3 weeks of suspension. Well, stay happy, bro. Glad to see you active on Twitter, which means you have found a way to deal with it. I haven't forgotten, and sorry that I haven't sent you a message to find out how you're coping with that. Give this squad to an elite manager, and Chelsea will come for the title. Cannot recognize Chelsea anymore under Potter. What I see is Sekus. Wow, some argument. Fofana was injured, but we could have put on Kukurea and shift Badiashile to the center and KK to the right. Koulibaly on the right hand side hasn't really worked. But you could say with just not so much time left, it could have worked. With that's the changes you recommended. So, but we don't know that. We're speaking in hindsight right now. As Roger will always say, I tend to call him Sav a short of savage.
That's what he is. Savage in my comments. All my comments, maybe.
Because that's what he is. Okay, DJ, I'm going to start calling you Sav. An official pushed a Pulisic. Really? And he didn't get in trouble. An official, what game was that? An official push Pulisic. Did I miss that? Was that in the last game and I missed it?
I can't remember that one. Thomas, can you let us know what game that was in, please, bro? I can't remember which game that was in. Was it this one? I don't think it was this one, was it?
Yeah, Thomas, can you remember? Tell us which of the games you're talking about. I want to know. But Thomas, more importantly, I hope you're doing well.
Yeah, big up to you.
If you can remember, I said at the time, give Potter prime Messi, Ronaldinho, and Ronaldo. He will play Gallagher. There we go. Oh my word! I'm lost of words, really. I cranked soon as I saw Trevor come off for Wesley. I said to myself, this will end up costing us, and it actually happened. Chalobah originally didn't do bad. He usually does well in the right centre back position.
Yeah,
but something maybe he was a bit confused. He didn't understand how Koulibaly plays, because had they been at the right place at the right time, the only talk would have been that Koulibaly was cooked.
No, he was cooked. What I will say on that one, though, Kachilla, is this. I mean, yeah, he was wrong, and it's spot on what God of Frogs is saying regarding that situation. But what I will say is I actually also blame Kepa as well, because if that, he should have made himself bigger to stop that from going in. He could have. If that was Mendy in the goal, I don't think that ball goes in the back of the net, personally. I think Mendy makes himself big, spreads himself, and he gets a hand on that ball. But Kepa didn't, for some whatever reason, Kepa decided to, not to do that, and they end up getting their equaliser. But yeah, I understand where God of Fox is coming from as well. I mean, Chalobah looked like he was again caught out. Could have Boehly's come there to help out. He's literally more or less slipped, or he's been pushed off the ball, not even pushed off, but still shoved off the ball. By this guy Simmons, who's, by the way, scored his first goal, by the way, in his Everton career. Just to let everyone know, that's his first goal in Everton colours, and he's got against us. So once again, talk about charity.
One of our Everton fans came to the channel and talked about it. But go ahead.
Charity FC once again giving a goal to one of their players coming through their youth ranks. This is what I'm. And the other thing I will also say about Graham Potter's decision making is that you tell me one thing, Kato, why would you take João Felix off a game, who's probably our best player on that pitch, scored a goal? I think he stays on the pitch. Maybe we might end up getting another goal, but he's taking him off the pitch. He's brought on Pulisic to him, I think. For me, Pulisic did nothing when he came. No, Pulisic, in fact, started the game. What am I talking about? Pulisic started the game, but he brought on João. He took off. I mean, I think he brought. Was it for Gallagher for João? I can't remember. Was it Gallagher for João Felix? It was. He took him off. All right, brings him. I don't really know what he's actually given us. You've taken off probably our best player off the pitch. I thought him and Kai Havertz were excellent on the day. And he's gone and taken one of those duos off the pitch, and then things just for some whatever reason we couldn't cope with getting another goal. I don't know why. But Yeah, I mean, look, his decision making. This is one of the reasons why I don't think Potter's the guy for us, mate. And as I said, I'm not going to come here on your stream saying Potter out, because it doesn't matter what I say and what we all say here. Potter will never. Anything. It doesn't change anything, mate. The man's going to stay at the club until the end of the season at least. Mm-hmm. So unfortunately, we have to put up with it.
And again, I want him to turn things around, because if he starts doing well,
he can do. But with his decision
and
making,
things around is no guarantee he keeps his job at the end of the season. But we're not the owners. We're not sure what they're going to do. Let me catch up with the chat, DJ. Then we'll go to the topics we have lined up here. Bring back Molina. I guarantee you, nobody is pushing nor arguing with the ref. You're talking about the Italian, the bald-headed man. That's one of my favorite referees. Really,
he was really good referee.
Yeah, I love him. Porter subs, Gallagher, Chukwuemeka, Chalova, Ruben Loftus-Cheek. What does that tell you? I'm not going to say the last part of your sentence. The winter sofa on Lewis stream. You're talking about Andrew. Said that Potter is managing Chelsea as if they are a team fighting relegation season after season and grateful to be in the league. Parking the bus after 6 minutes.
He's right. He's right.
Oh my word! I love Andrew, and I missed him. I've missed Andrew on this panel here.
Big up to him.
Time. Big up to him. And probably the time is the issue. He's my very good friend. Newcastle 4 months ago. You can see it on YouTube. Oh, okay. I'll find that. Big up to you two, Chelsea old boys. Big up, coach and DJ up the Chelsea up. I don't understand why Havertz plays 90 minutes of every game. That's what happened to Kante. Fatigued, kicked in, and Mr. Reliable became Mr. Injury Prone. So we should be cautious with Kai Havertz. That is some comment. And that's especially right now that every 2 games we'll have a player out for a while or a few days. I think we should start resting Kai. I know he's been in great form, and even giving him a rest will go a long way. We don't want a situation. We don't want a case where what we saw with in the case of Mason Mount under Thomas Tuchel. He played them until probably he played his brain out until go ahead.
No, go, Chill. Finish what you were trying to say. I've got a comment on that one. This is one of the reasons what Potter's management's about.
Yeah, until it became clear that Mason Mount was mentally tired before he started resting him. Poor result. And this showed we papered over the cracks in the last. Yeah, you could argue it contributed to a lot of issues in the last 4 games. Poor in-game management, etc. Big up to you all. The best way to defend is to attack. Took out more attackers and put in more defensive-minded. For Potter, a 1-0 lead is criminal. I think, like I said, he was really concerned that the team is still fragile. Yep, we've won 3 in a row, but we're not that stable. He wasn't. The team isn't yet that stable for him to trust that nothing is going to happen. But DJ, go ahead if you want. You wanted to say something about this one here.
Listen, what I was going to say on that one, and what Sam Jovi big up to is correct. I mean, the problem we got with Graham Potter is he's got no striker on the bench. I mean, you got players like Aubameyang and Datro Fofana who are not even made the squad. Okay, so you want to take Kai Havertz off, which is great, which I agree with. I think Kai Havertz maybe needed to come off on that day because maybe he needed a bit of a rest. But who do you replace him with? You're not putting a Datro Fofana on the bench. You're not putting a Aubameyang on the bench. From what I understand, Aubameyang was in Spain watching Barcelona play. From what I understand, he wasn't even in the squad that day. He wasn't even nowhere near the team. He was in Barcelona watching them play football. I mean, come on. I mean,
even if he's injured, he shouldn't be traveling.
If he is injured, I personally don't think he is injured. I just think he just doesn't want to pick him, and I think it's because he's a Thomas Tuchel signing. That's why he doesn't want to put him in that team. And I think this is the big mistake.
We're paying him big bucks.
This is it. But this manager, this clueless manager that we have, doesn't clearly understand that. You're chasing a game here. You want to take off Kai Havertz because he's probably getting a bit tired. So who do you look on your bench? You're looking around you. There's no Datro Fofana. There's no Aubameyang, right? So who does he go and bring on? This again is on Potter. He should have at least put him in the squad for that game, at least in the squad. But he couldn't be bothered to do it. And this is one of the reasons why I have no faith in this guy as a manager. because he just doesn't clearly know what he's doing, and this job is too much for him. The guy clearly is out of his
I did see I see Glenn's comment with regards to Aubameyang behavior, because if it was other player at Chelsea would start talking about them being somewhere when Chelsea was playing, or he should be even if he's injured, he shouldn't be traveling and watching game at Barcelona. It's just that I think he's rebelling probably because of how he feels Potter is treating him. Maybe, but I think that Fofana at least should be on the bench.
Exactly.
Believe me, he can play. He can come in for Kai Havertz and unsettle the defense. And if he wants a fluid front three, he got that. He can get that from Dr. Fofana, if that makes sense. May as well just look to next season as this one is over. Oh yeah, it's been over for long. Big up to you too, Martin. I hope you're doing well. But that's, by the way, DJ, let's start looking at the structured topics one by one here.
Yeah, please.
Let's start with this one. This one in particular makes me very happy. It says, Graham Potter says Chelsea will look to play an in-house friendly during the international break, help N'Golo Kante build up match fitness, which means I think he understands the importance of N'Golo Kante.
Yep.
If the match is being played specifically to help Kante build up, which means he recognizes its importance. The question is he going to recognize the fact that if he plays Kante, pairs him with Enzo or Kovacic, we need to tax him with the responsibility of protecting the defense, being a bit more defensively minded, to screen our defense very well, because we haven't seen that from Kova and Enzo Fernandez. As much as they've been excellent going forward, they practically do nothing in terms of helping us defend, because we only win the ball when the ball gets to our defense in most cases. They've tried their best, and I don't blame them. To me, this shows he understands the importance of this man whenever he's ready to join the fray. Your thoughts, DJ?
Yes, if that's one thing he's getting right in terms of his management wise, that's one thing I have to say. I'm glad he's doing that, because listen, I think everyone at the game, everyone on Stamford Bridge on Saturday, when Kante was actually warming up, he got a massive ovation from the crowd when he was warming. And all it was basically is everyone knew he was never going to start in this game or come on as a substitute. I think all it was.
We thought he was going to get a few minutes. Though.
Yeah, I think it was more to the fact that they were just showing him that he's part. I think it's just more to the fact that he wanted him to come in there, be part of the team. Back at Stamford Bridge again. Show the crowd that he's going to be back very soon. It was just him to blend him back into the team again. It wasn't to actually play him, I don't think, personally. He was just in the squad for that game. And I think that's how it turned out to be. But I was so happy to see him. The fans gave a massive ovation at Stamford Bridge when he was there warming up. But I think we may see him in the next game, possibly against Aston Villa. But personally, I wouldn't even play him against Aston Villa. I would actually play him in the Champions League game. Maybe give him a couple of minutes against Aston Villa, and then start him officially against Real Madrid in the Champions League match. That's what I would do.
How long has he been training with the boys now?
He's been back in training, I do believe. I think for the last couple of weeks. I think he's been back in the squad for the last 2 or 3 weeks. He's been back in the squad training with the first team. So
probably will be ready after 2 weeks of international break.
Probably will be, but he needs to get that match sharpness again. And yes, he's only going to get that by playing some games. And I'm glad they're actually playing some games behind the scenes for him in some matches they've got lined up while the international break's going on. That would be good for his fitness, as long as he doesn't make him play the whole 90 minutes in that game. Give him minutes there, minutes then, and take him off, because we need to make sure that he stays fit now, at least until the end of the season. Because believe me, Coachella, we're going to need this guy. We're going to need him in that team. And I think I can only see him and Enzo being the midfield too when he does come back from injury, if he wants to integrate him properly with Enzo.
Yeah, I want to see him because I've always argued that Enzo, I'd rather Enzo and Kovacic be rotational players, pair Kante or a more defensively minded player with either of the two, rather than starting Enzo and Kovacic. We have issues in terms of shielding the defense. They don't do that very, very, very well. He's saying Aubameyang could have joined Mount at the UFC event. I saw that one too. Look, it just looks like nobody's taking serious our situation, really, if that makes any sort of sense. Albert Dante says Chelsea should get rid of players like Gallagher, Ziyech, Loftus-Cheek, and Aubameyang in the coming summer. whenever they are in the team, the team loses the game. Is that what you're trying to say, Mike, bro? No,
Hey,
Zion. Big up,
Blue
brother.
Tab. Big up,
But gunshots to you. I haven't seen you in a while, and I know you understand. Usually during the day, I am resting, so don't have too much time to join your show. But I owe you a lot, brother. Much love. We've come a long way. Good morning to all my neighbors. Good morning, my neighbors. Potter making wrong headlines again. What's the strength of substitutions? Yep, that's how some people say it. But in my opinion, I won't blame him too much for the substitution. I think there's a reason behind it, and I think I understand that. But that doesn't mean I think he's the man. And I know you know that quite well. But more importantly, Nee, I hope you're well, brother. Keep doing what you're doing. You're getting there. And if you're watching, if you haven't, you have to go check out Nee Zion's YouTube channel. One of the fastest growing YouTube channel right now. In under 2 months or just a month, he has hit he's getting to 4,000 as soon as possible. We can get there. We can help our brother get there. It's all about Chelsea. Click the 3 dots to his name. Click on go to website. Be sure to subscribe. Lots of excellent panelists there.
Yes,
DJ always there too. Just to be clear, I have no problems with shutting teams down after going up. One of our greatest managers was known to do that. The difference is he knew when and who. Okay, you know what? Let me remix your comment. I know you're talking about Jose Mourinho. Mourinho knew when and who to, and again, and against who to do that, plus what player he uses to do that. I get it. Gallagher comes in, does a lot of running, but is he capable of reading the game? No. That was the only substitution I hated on that day. He doesn't read the game. You see him everywhere. So it creates more, again, his application, it overlaps every angle, creates more confusion on the pitch than he solves the problem. And I saw your tweet saying, yeah, Gallagher isn't Mikel Obi. Yes, he's not. He can barely read the game, let alone be in the right place in the right time. So I'm going to try again. We're going to move to the next topic. And if you're happy, if you want to talk about the Kante situation, fine. Looking at Boehly very closely now, he's determined to undo absolutely everything that Roman built, selling all academy players, sacking Toko, and all his signings, and instilling a weak mentality. I think this is you, and I'm going to get a lawyer. You're the one that I need to sue for accusing Boehly for what he didn't do. I love you, but you're my enemy for such comment, man. What are you saying? I don't think so. How do you think that he and the group, and by the way, I know you're too, again, you're well acquainted with that. It's not just, it's a consortium. It's a group of people. But again, because he fronts the whole thing, he's the guy we're going to be pointing finger at. And I don't think I think he actually wants to win everything, because winning, with winning comes profit. If he's losing, the club is not going to attract big name sponsors, if that makes sense. But I know you know exactly what you're doing there. Chelsea all the way. Play Kante for in-house matches to protect him. Why was Kante on the bench? If he's not going to play, there should be another striker on the bench.
Agreed.
Yeah, if Kante wasn't going to play, he shouldn't have picked him. I think that's a solid argument.
Yep.
If he wasn't going to get at least 5 minutes, he shouldn't have picked him. Williams is not just a former Chelsea player. He said his family and his children with himself, and that his wife and kids told him they cannot wish him good luck against Chelsea. Yeah, excuse me, I read that, and that's usually that's good to see. And I think he's regrets ever again. He regrets joining Arsenal. I think I've seen something like that. Okay, players there, okay, but problem with coach, he don't know coaching, and the problem, England coach, okay, I'm struggling to get a hold of what you're saying, but Ndumbo, nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. Mount in a UFC, Alba in backup, players cannot celebrate. Potter needs that iron fist. Feel like he has no control. I'm not sure what's going on. Boehly should have said, sorry about the result. Sorry about the result, fellas. I thought the 3 points were in the bag, but we got sloppy. So we go again. Up to Chelsea. Not the stupidness he said. Just saying. Okay, we get to that in a bit. The first half, the Blues, Chelsea. The first half was nice to watch. It was delicious to watch, really. The second half versus Everton, even replaced Pulisic with Felix, and a player who brought in a player who had minimal contribution from Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Gallagher. Love you all. Love you too, brother. Much love to you. Fota out with RLC. Bring on. Okay, let's see what happens. All my life watching Chelsea support this. Chelsea, this is the first time seeing Chelsea is so boring right now. We weren't boring, actually, especially in the first half, if we're being honest. I think everything that the people are talking about comes down to the changes the manager made. I think we were excellent in the first half. Quick transition. The interplays was so good. That's by the way, Haaland with the Chelsea boys want to keep up for. I don't know. What is it? Just a big team becomes a small team. We look like a small team right now, if we're being honest. Boehly was to build a successful empire for now and the future, then employ Graham Potter coach. I beg, make that make sense. They had him thinking he was the man. When it turns things around tomorrow, given what we've all been through, I still say it was a mistake letting Tuchel go. Even if Potter ends up winning the Champions League, it wouldn't change that comment. That notion that notion that it was a mistake letting Thomas Tuchel go. DJ, you want to add any other thing, or we move on to the next topic?
It's just a big mistake letting Thomas do. What I will also say, in terms of what some of the comments have said down there, the first thing on Pulisic. Now, you tell me one thing, Kachila. I can understand what the Bluetooth game is actually saying and why he thinks sometimes of what the decision makings that are being made. You tell me one thing, Kachila. Why would you play a player who's just come back from injury, playing for like 61 minutes, okay, start him in the game when you got Mudryk sitting on the bench and you're playing Christian Pulisic ahead of him? You tell me that one thing. Why would you do that? Mudryk is there, £80 million player. You've gone and spent that big money on. Surely he starts ahead of Pulisic, who's just bringing him, who's making his way back to the team from injury.
Would you say that's being sentimental?
I wouldn't say it's at all. No, not at all, bro.
If he's basing his selection based on how much you pay for a player. But we're just here to talk and make sense. But go ahead, brother.
No, but I tell you why I'm saying it, Kachila, right? Yeah? Let's be honest here. Mudryk had a good game against Leicester. I don't think he put a foot wrong against Leicester. He even scored a goal that was offside and celebrated. I felt sorry for him because the goal was offside and he celebrated like Didier Drogba, right? But I felt sorry for him. Yeah, but he still had a good game in that game against Leicester. I would have started him. Let this kid. If we're trying to grow this guy into the team, then surely he's a confidence player. You play on someone's confidence, so you play that same player in the team, and then you let him start. If he doesn't do well, whatever time it is you want to bring him, then bring him off. But the guy's already got his confidence up. Then surely he starts that game against Everton. Why would you bring Pulisic into the setup? The guy's just come back from injury. If anything, I'd have put. Okay, we knew Sterling wasn't there. I'd have put Madueke in the team at least. Not.
Yeah, Madueke would have been more effective.
Exactly.
He likes to drive with the ball.
Exactly. But this guy goes and puts Christian Pulisic there. And again, you know what that comes from, Kachila? That comes from up above. You must play Pulisic in this game. He's got the phone call from Todd Boehly from above. Make sure you play Pulisic in this game. So that you ask yourself, the man is just a yes man. He doesn't, he should know how to manage a team himself. He's the manager. He's the coach. He should be the one doing all that, not listening to what the up above owners basically saying. So I would have started Mudryk in this game, not Pulisic. Big up to you, Rodrigo.
Yeah. Bobrigo, that's his name, not Rodrigo.
Yeah.
Bobrigo.
Is it Rodrigo? And I say Rodrigo. Isn't it Rodrigo?
Yeah, no,
I'm DJ is confused. He's not sure what I'm saying.
Sorry, brother. I wasn't listening to your comments. Sorry, mate. What was that?
No, but that's by the way. His name is Rodrigo, but I heard somebody call him Bobrigo, so that's why I call him Bobrigo.
Bobrigo.
Yeah, but that's by the way. Let me catch up with the chat. I'll bring in Rodrigo so we can move on to the structure topic we have there. Boehly wants to, I've read that one. And this one, to be honest, I'd rather start Kante ahead of Enzo. No, I want them both on the pitch at the same time. In fact, let's see, Zidane or Diego Simeone. I'm not going to talk about who takes over now. It would just be a waste of my energy because I don't think it happens, at least not to the end of the season. Some news are saying Boehly is getting tired of Potter. I don't know how true that is. We'll get to talk about that in a bit. It's one of the topics we have lined up. The problem is the earliest we will realize Potter isn't for Chelsea. Are you just realizing that? A lot of people have thought about that and thinks that's the case, but do the owners feel the same? That's where the whole thing lies. I think he stays to the end of the season at least. If not, it's going to be painful and waste of time and resources. Let's see what happens. Versus Everton, there's Mudryk and Mudryk instead. His backed up instead of Gallagher, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and whoever you mentioned there. When Pulisic got decapitated by the PK, Mudryk or Mudryk were not warming up. They weren't playing. Yeah. Big up to you too. I hope you're doing well. Limitless, thank you for finding the time to join the show. Limitless, big up. Mudryk, how do you want to develop if you only sit on the bench? I don't think he sit on the bench for that long. Seems Potter's degree in emotional intelligence is to mess up players and Chelsea. Get him out. We're going to stop talking about Potter as soon as possible and start looking at the comments we have lined up there. Koulibaly invited a lot of pressure with possession in the first half. Kova and Enzo had to work overtime. That need to be checked and maybe replaced with BB and then Kuku at left center back position. Okay. Facts, DJ, yes, man, tax, biscuits, yeah, and all that. I get that argument. What a joke. Remember what he said in his book. We don't know what was. Yep, that's the truth. This control of the coach because we don't like him. But you will have every right to assume something is the case given what's happening sometimes. But one thing I'm going to say, if he's really picking players based on what the hierarchy tells him, then he shouldn't be Chelsea manager in the first place. That's how I see it. The subs that should be getting their attention should be Chukwuemeka because Potter should have learned from the Conor mistake. Okay. Coach, I saw a video which shows Kepa really cost that second goal. His clearance led to that goal. Okay, maybe if that's how you saw it. Rodrigo, if you've been listening, anything you've heard us talk about that you want to add to before we move on to the next topic?
No, we're going to the structure topic. Yeah.
All right.
I don't want to go back to the game. This manager has to go.
All right, yeah. All right, people. We have to move on from that topic, really. Let's not talk about Potter, anymore. Boehly should think of bringing very energetic, powerful, and skillful attackers in the coming summer. Otherwise, the team will continue to go down.
How many more players are we going to... We already brought powerful and energetic attackers. We already done that.
Yeah, exactly. Money can't solve all our problems.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Rodrigo, if you were still saying something.
No, I'm waiting for you.
Okay. You don't have anything to say about the case of N'Golo Kante? Should we just move on?
No. I thought I can understand why he didn't bring him on in that because Everton are quite physical. So I think this is good for him. We need Kante to. I want him to get at least few minutes against Villa, and then we have Liverpool, and then we have Wolves before Real Madrid. So there's 3 games. So let's say 10 minutes against Villa, maybe another 20 minutes against Liverpool. Maybe you give him half an hour against Wolves, and then maybe in the Madrid game you can bring him instead of bringing Gallagher, you can bring Kante in the second half to close down that game. Because basically, what I'm saying is we're building him up for that return leg at the bridge. I think that game he has to start.
Yeah, I agree with you. Thank you so much. I think you make a good sense. Starting him against Everton would have been a huge risk because they were very physical. Yeah. Chelsea should do a thank you video on Mendy leaving because he won us all trophies. You expect that when he leaves, but right now nobody's going to come out and say he's leaving. So let's make a video right now. We fans are tired with Potter pattern. Okay, let the owners do something. Rescue the situation. Let's see what to do. UEFA Champions League Trophy 2021 in Club World Cup. Okay, let's move on to this topic here. This one Graham Potter insists that Chelsea think the world of Conor Gallagher, despite the England's midfield struggles to win a regular starting place in the team. He said Conor has been really unlucky because whenever he comes on, he does really well. He will be frustrated, and rightly so. But we think the world of him, and he is a fantastic team player. Fantastic team player. Okay.
Okay.
That doesn't, yeah, it doesn't really sound like they have a place for him in the squad or in the current starting 11. But Rodrigo, if you want to add to that, if not, I'll ask DJ your thoughts on this. Graham Potter's comment there.
I'm not a big fan of Conor Gallagher, to be honest. I'm not a fan of players that don't have the minimum technical ability for when you get to this level of football. I don't know. Whenever I see him get on the pitch, he loses the ball. He runs straight into people. I don't know. He's like one of those people. He's got good energy about him. He tries hard. Some fans really enjoy that, but personally, when you get to this level of football, I can't see Gallagher, for example, playing in a Man City team or play even Arsenal. I can't see Gallagher getting to the Arsenal team, and we want to compete with them. We can't be carrying people like this in a squad, and there is a market out there for Gallagher, someone that we can bring in 45 to 55 million pounds for him. I think we should definitely do it. Sell him. Yeah, I don't see a point keeping him in the squad. Yeah, he's done well. He's done well in the Leicester game. When I say well, he's done well for his ability. He's come in. He try hard, run around, put in tackles. Yeah, fair enough. It's nice. It's nice to see players trying that hard. But when you're trying to close the gap to these big teams, you can't carry people like this in the squad. He has to go. 45 million pounds, good enough. Pack your bag. Thank you for the service. Go.
Yeah, people, if you're watching, if you haven't, please take a second, drop a like on the stream. It does go a long way for us. Big up, Coach. How are you doing? I'm doing well, thank you. I saw the first episode of season 3 of Ted Lasso. I think Apple TV can face big competition from any documentary on CFC this season. That's a good one right there. Let's see if that happen. I would like to see that. He carried the team to the UEFA Champions League final. Who did? Sell Kepa and buy a new goalkeeper. We'll get to that in a bit. Boehly rather sack a groundsman who have been there for 30 years than sack Potter. They didn't hire the man, so it would be easy actually to sack those people than Potter. Boehly, I don't know how he thinks for Coach Potter because Potter, he's failed. Boss. Okay, it looks like you're looking a translator there. You're using a translator because it's jumbled up a bit. And apologies that I can't really understand what you're writing. Todd Boehly is downgrading Chelsea. Okay, Coach, the self-awareness of some of these players are shocking. Conor really complaining, Mount doing his own thing. These couple of youths, exactly. Coach, there's a theory going around that once Boehly has spent 1.2 billion on Chelsea, he can start taking money back out of Chelsea. I don't trust him. No, I don't think so. What we learned is that they don't take profit until after 10 years. But let's see what happens. If you want your new club to succeed, then hire an elite manager. Like if I were one of the guys that made that decision, I would have gone for an elite manager. Stabilize the ship first because the club was already struggling before they bought the club. So I would have gone for an elite manager, stabilize things first, then maybe later try to go for a long-term manager like they want to do with this man here. You cannot bring in mid-table coach and you expect him to win. So enough of the Potter talk, please. Coach, any comment from panelists on Antonio Kante putting up a big mirror at Spurs? I'll highlight this. If we have enough time, we'll talk about that later because we don't have too much time for this show. I didn't even see that interview from him, to be honest, but I'll highlight it. If anybody on the panel wants to talk about it, fine. It will be good entertainment for Chelsea fans. The substitutions yesterday was awful. Why would you remove Pulisic for Gallagher? Well, I don't know, really. So coming to you, DJ, your thoughts on the comments on the screen. to me, that shows there's really no place for Gallagher in this team.
Yeah. Now, listen. I think Gallagher's like Rodrigo said. I think he's a good player. He's full of energy. But the thing, if I was him and I'm thinking about my future, I don't think it's going to be here. And if he can get a good move somewhere, then do it, because he's a good player. I think, as I said, I think he will be. I think he is a good player, and I think if he was to go to somewhere like a Newcastle, I understand wants to make a £50 million bid from where Everton wants to make a £50 million offer for him. I don't think he wanted to go to Everton, but should Newcastle come in for him next season, which is a rumour that's going around at the moment that there's a possibility they will be coming in for him, then I probably would say Chelsea probably would accept it and let him go just for the sake of his career, because he can't be sitting at Chelsea on the bench 24/7, because it's not good for the lad's career in itself. Because I don't think he'll be able to get into the first team. There's too many players ahead of him that are better. So yeah, as much as I like him and I wouldn't want to see him go for the sake of his career, he should move on.
Mm-hmm. I think he should move on because if all he's going to be doing is come in every now and then, play 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I don't think it'll be healthy for him. We should sell him, put a buyback clause on that, and if he matures very well, we can also bring him in and show he's a starter. Because right now, no matter how you see it, he's still developing. That's how I see it. I wouldn't say he's good enough to be a starter at Chelsea right now, given the players who signed. And it gets worse because more players will still join. More players that I think the club will probably value more than him will still join. I'll catch up with a bit of what we have here, and then I'll get my bro, Declad. He just joined us. He starts, Coach. Yeah, Declad is here. He's probably here to fight. Coach, I cannot wait for summer. Some of these players need to go. Who? We don't know. Remove Joao Felix for who? The bust up between Kova and Koulibaly during the game is a very toxic thing. I think I want to see that. And it didn't go to a measure that I would say it's toxic, really. I have to be honest. Yeah. Let's see. Smash the like button and support the channel, says Bobby. Thank you so much for all your support, people. The likes do go along with, so keep liking the stream if you haven't, and also do subscribe to the channel. Yeah, let's come to Declad. Declad, your thoughts on the Conor Gallagher situation, or you have anything else you want to talk about before you talk about Gallagher?
Big up, everyone.
And more importantly, I hope you're well.
Big up,
I hope you're well. Or let me say, hope you're better because of what you told me. I hope everything is all right.
Yeah, so good. Timing.
Excellent.
Yeah, timing was, Chelsea winning games was a bit of a shock. Yeah, it took it out of me. But with that loss, it brought me back. I didn't come here to fight, Coach. What's it to fight about? What is there to fight about? I think you're the only guy left for Potter in, so there's nothing to fight about. Where's Roger too? Everyone's trying to find an answer, Everyone's trying to find a reason. What's going on with the club? Maybe it's Conor Gallagher. Get him out. Maybe it's Mount. Get them all out. Get everyone out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we
like
haven't
a lot
managed.
of people are saying, yeah.
Everyone's trying to find out money issues. Does anyone think we'll beat Real Madrid?
Never say never until it's played. You don't know what
Never
happens
say
until
never?
it's played. Yeah.
What if I said we have a chance if we sack the manager?
It's still a suggestion. Here's the thing.
So
if we do
so
that,
here's a choice.
for instance,
Do we write off the season, or could we salvage the season if we sack the manager?
It could happen, but I'm not gonna. Here's the thing. I'm not gonna start wasting my energy saying Potter out because it won't change anything. And I have lots of questions with regards to
It can. I just told you how. It can change. We can have a chance in the Champions League.
Do you think I'm the one? I have the power to sack him?
No,
I'm don't.
Saying you said you didn't want to say it because it nothing's going to change, but it can change.
Mm-hmm. And I have questions.
Yeah, you don't have the power to, transfer Conor Gallagher. You're reporting on it, so it was the same
Mm-hmm.
deal here. So in the same thing, should we be talking about what life would look like without Potter And if we keep him to the end of the season, like, is it worth watching a game now? Really? Should I watch next week's game?
No.
It's up to you.
This is what I said, yeah. I sound a bit crazy when I said I'd rather us lose to Leeds because there were reports that if you lost that game, you'd have gone. So I was like, I'd rather sacrifice these 3 points to Leeds. But then again, I thought we were gonna beat Leeds anyway, so Leeds were bottle jobs.
Yeah, but Rodrigo, what I didn't get is why was it down to those 2 games? Like,
I know
we won those 2 games. Why did everyone have amnesia? Like, those 2 games, like, what happened to the rest of the season?
Exactly.
Even in those 2 games for me, Leeds didn't play for striker, didn't play that well. Everton were always going to be like Everton was going to be that team, and we scored against them. I thought it was going to be hard to score against, and I thought this is just going to be another win, and we copped 2 more goals for people who were praising that we were the what was that, second highest defensive team. Well, we are. It was all over the shop. We're playing a system from the old manager. We don't even have a way. I was listening before. He's questioning why the substitutions came off, why Pulisic started. This manager is trying to make everyone happy. I can't think of another way. He's trying to make everyone happy. It's time to give him a go. Let's make him happy. I promised him this. I just can't wait till he's gone, to be honest. I don't know. Like, you guys are trying to find everyone's trying to find an answer beyond Potter. It's hard to really put your finger on it because how good is this team? The talent in this team is crazy, and you know what the saddest thing is? Sorry, I'm going on a rant now. The saddest thing, and coach and you guys have been reporting on it, is we've gone from Mount to now Gallagher, and as being praised to have one of the best academies, we do not have a great system and a great coach to get the best out of this talent that gets to us. Mount and Gallagher are good talent, and we're talking about getting rid of them at this age. Like, has some the process of getting him to see, how good they are or the best they can be, it's kind of failed. We haven't made a player, and even Reece James is there. But what happens if Reece James could have been better, or what happens if Reece James could have or falls off? Do you know what I'm saying? Till these players reach near their peak, we don't have a proper system. We don't have a great system for that. We have a great system of creating his talent, obtaining his talent, but we don't have a great system of them becoming a long-term player here. And I think that's the saddest thing, because the process that Gallagher and Mount and anyone else has gone through, many talent are going to go through. And now we're going to spend $1 billion on talent. And we haven't, and before now, we haven't had a proven system. And I think maybe that's why Potter was brought in, because maybe that was his thing, but obviously not at this level. So the next manager has to be able to do that too. So think about it. We've got a whole team that needs to be developed rather than winning things now. Right. So how do we go about that?
Mm-hmm. No, that's fine. I don't care about Potter I don't care about Potter, but there's nothing that can be done until the end of the season. At least that's how you see it. It goes both ways. If the manager, whether we sack the manager or not, I get that one there. The cavalry has arrived because you have declared on the panel. I don't care about. Okay, I've read that one. This is if we sack Graham Potter for an elite manager, we could reach top 4. Really?
Can we reach top 4?
We even let go of our groundsman and staff. Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah. When that I didn't know about that. We big up Chama. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Good day, everyone. Coach, are you listening, my good friend? Yeah, I'm listening. Yeah. Let's bring in Bobby. Bobby, your thoughts where you want to come in from, so that when you're done with whatever you want to come in, or if you want to talk about stuff from Gallagher, then we can move on to the next topic. Your thoughts, Bobby. Where did he go? It looks like he has a connection issue. So we move on. My problem people say Conor coming on was the problem. Really, he ruined the rest of all those. Said people say Conor coming on was the problem. Really? Okay, a question mark there. They say he ruined the rest of all those good players. No, I'm just saying the only issue I had with Conor coming on.
I tried to unmute and shut
Conor, as much
myself
as he
down.
runs well, small problem because on the day it depends on where he was deployed and what he was asked to do. I'm not saying he's a bad player by any stretch of imagination. It causes. Yeah, okay, 1 second, I'm coming, Bobby. It causes more confusion than brings solution. But Bobby, your thoughts, where you want to come in, or do you want to talk about Conor Gallagher's case? Whatever you want to comment, so we can discuss the next topic. Looks like Bobby cannot hear me.
Coach, I want to add, I didn't think, are people saying Gallagher was the problem? I thought the problem was Felix.
Yeah, we can hear you, but it doesn't look like you can hear us.
I can hear you perfectly.
Okay, then you go ahead. Okay, Declan, just I want you to come in with whatever you want to say later. Sorry.
No, I was just saying to you that I'd spoken to you before about Gallagher. You know, I don't subscribe to all this get rid of.
No, this is not about get rid of.
Let's not have.
But go ahead with what you're saying.
Let me land. Let's not have strength in depth. Let's look for the players that will give us strength in depth to pick off and mess up the team. Nah, Gallagher goes nowhere. I keep referring to Bayern Munich, Man City, Real Madrid. I told you the last game Real Madrid were bringing Asensio, someone from their academy who's been there longer and had far less game time than Gallagher already off the bench. Look at all the players that Bayern bring off the bench. Sadio Mane, Serge Gnabry, Leroy Sané. I mean, gosh, the list goes on, and we're bothered about players sitting on the bench. Do me a favour. This is top flight football. It is rotational football. That's why players earn the big bucks. They're not there for you to be, oh, he doesn't get enough game time. They all get enough game time. You've got to rotate them. Look what happened to Fofana yesterday. I don't think he should have played the full 90. That's, that is down to Potter. He eventually brought on Chalobah, but I think Fofana was there a little bit too long. You have to wrap these guys up in cotton wool. Make sure that for once we have a fit squad to go in against Real Madrid. I think we can do them. I think we can turn them over. If anything can taught us from the last time at the Bernabeu, we can turn them over if we turn on our A game. Yeah, they've improved. Yeah, they've got our Rudiger. Yeah, they've got Camavinga. Yeah, they've got Tchouaméni. They are a damn good side. Don't get me wrong. But we're Chelsea Football Club. We go where angels fear to tread. We never fear. That is our strength. When we're up against it and we go in with our chest held out high, we usually win. That's what Chelsea's all about. Bring on Real Madrid. All we need is a fit squad. A fit squad. We always play these people without fit players. We always, whether it's Arsenal, Man United, all these cup finals, Liverpool, or if we have players on, they're limping, half fit, just about, and they come off injured. Let's have a fit squad and play these people. Then we'll know what's going on. I know Kepa's is a mess. He just proves he's not a number one. We do need a number one keeper. Mendy's bad with his feet, and he was flapping, and he's just coming back from injury, so I wouldn't trust him either. So we're a bit deficient in that area. Potter, well, tactically, he's not the best, but do we blame him for Saturday? No. It was a defensive error, and the fact that the defenders made a mistake, the goalkeeper could do, just showed how weak he is. There was a cross ball, which is his weakness as usual. Everybody flapped. He flapped, stood on his line, waiting for it. They scored. The second time, they get through, shoot. He actually gets a hand to it, but it doesn't get a strong hand on it. It goes through him in goal. I mean, what can Potter do about that? I have my suspicions of Potter, but I don't think he was to blame for Saturday. there was a lot of attractive offensive play that he came out with. Well, João Felix came out with, may we say. And, you know, they showed some good stuff. You know, Pulisic showed why we should be umming and ahhing about letting him go, because he's one of our most creatives up there. João Felix, Havertz, who I think is an absolute dollar. That guy is mustard. And I don't understand the criticism of this guy. He's a young guy with every day, with every game, he's getting better and better and beginning to show his worth. With the additions we're getting in the summer, and definitely with the midfield strengthening, he's going to really ball out. We need a big, strong squad, not to be turfing out players as if we're going to be playing with the first 11 game in, game out. That's not big time football anymore. Those days are gone. It does not happen. It cannot happen. And if you want to play like that, you end up in mediocrity with all your players sat in the injury room after time. And you're playing teams like Man City with your academy boys like we have had to do twice this season. Let us go toe to toe with the big boys with our full fit squad. And let's see what happens. Even with Potter, let's see what happens. We've got Kante firing. We've got Fofana at the back firing. We've got Thiago Silva back. We've got our forward line forward. We've even got Sterling. Let's see. We can take on anyone. That's my opinion. And in all honesty, Real Madrid, watch out. I reckon they'll be scared of us, and they are scared of us, because they know if we really crank it up, they're in trouble.
Carlo Ancelotti is experienced enough to know, and more importantly, you have to respect everything. But here's our point about Conor Gallagher. I know, Mike, you talked about Real Madrid bench. Clearly, Graham Potter doesn't see this guy in the light that he sees, again, with which he sees some of those players on there. He only sees him as a player he can bring off the bench and play. And at this age, that's not good for him. So the argument isn't, I'm coming. The argument isn't let him go. The argument isn't, he's not even seeing him as a rotational player. And the truth remains, as mentioned there, will Gallagher himself be happy? I don't think so. I don't think so.
It's not good enough. That's for me. That's
Bobby like that. Yeah.
If you're saying something like he's not good enough, then I will have that conversation, and that becomes the debate. But saying that he should go, absolutely no chance. Saying he doesn't play is rubbish. He plays. And saying he won't be happy is also rubbish.
It isn't about game time.
Happy.
Yeah, because
it's not really about game time, and that says there clearly that he isn't happy. If you, here's the thing, it'd be stupid if he's happy with the situation. Then if I'm the coach and a player is being again used just 10 minutes here and there, and they're happy, I'm not going to trust that player. If they're happy with being on the bench, I need players that will be hungry, that will feel like they should be starting. But that's not the argument right now. What I'm seeing is that he's not even seeing him as a rotational player, and that's not good for his development. More importantly, that's how I see it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say, because Bobby mentioned about Man City, Real Madrid, Asensio, and all that. These are quality players. They come off the bench. They're actually that good. Personally, I think when you bring in a Gallagher off the bench, that actually downgrade the quality that you have. So my point is, yes, we need players that are really good and they can come off the bench and contribute. That's why I'm not hearing selling people like Havertz yet. I'm not hearing that. We need to keep him, because he has quality. He doesn't have to be. Maybe he doesn't have to be your starter. So if you gain a striker, at least you have Kai Havertz on the bench. Yeah, that's good. But I just feel like with Gallagher, for example, I don't see the quality there. Maybe some people really like the way he plays, but personally, the way I like watching football, Gallagher is not a player that I can rely on to win me a game or to maybe once in a while. And
if you're going to be using him as a guy, as the way Mikel was used, he's not the guy.
He can
barely read the game.
He can't do it. He can't keep possession of the ball. So if you bring him in, he's going to lose the ball. He's going to be harmful to the team. Have you noticed every time he brought him on, that actually give the impetus to the opposition to attack us more. It's like he's not doing the job that we think is meant to do. As it come in, close down the game. He's not doing that. So is it instruction from the manager? This is where I think I hear what Declare said. Maybe our energy shouldn't be on blaming these Gallagher, Mount, all these players. Maybe our energy should be elsewhere. This is where we're looking at the man who makes the decisions on the team. So yeah.
Yeah, let me catch up with the chat. I'll come back to the panel. Declan wanted to do something, and I stopped him. We get past Real Madrid only for Haaland to dump a hat-trick on us, on our heads in both legs. Potter is the biggest handbrake. Here's the thing. Haaland has actually struggled against us, hasn't he? But let's see what happens. Good day, everyone. Good day to you, too. Bobby, I'll bring back this question to you so you can answer it when Declan speaks. Then we'll move on to the next topic. I blame the commentators. They cursed the Chelsea that day. Chama, wow, is that how you feel?
I just want to say, Coach, please. I just want to say, the guy talking about Haaland, forget about Haaland. We'll deal with that if and when we get to it. They got to get past Bayern Munich first, mate. So park that one.
Okay, so when we get that
conversation. Well, they may not even get past Bayern. Do you know what I'm saying? That's a bit presumptuous.
Mm-hmm.
Bayern could probably will turn them over. So
there's no telling what will happen in that because it's a very tight one, really. All those big names are players with a PE teacher in charge. Okay, man was praised Havas. I thought he went back to his usual underprotected self. To be honest, okay. In as much as I like Bobby. I think he supports the wrong players. You think we don't need such fans in our club? Oh, wow.
Whoa,
okay. Bobby's going to start supporting another club tomorrow. Formula One car in the hands of Mr. Bean. Okay, stop that, please. Just be a bit nice.
I've probably been supporting Chelsea before your parents were born, mate. So
it doesn't. You don't have to respond to that. Conor isn't good enough to play his proper position on the club. If you want to use Conor, use him as an 8. He can get you goals, and he will do a lot of good work there. And I've seen him play as an 8, one of the 2 8s, and in a 3-4-2-1 or so, and he did quite well. UEFA Champions League games are different than the Premier League. They're not physical, very technical and strategic, almost like heavyweight boxers maneuver to land punches. Teams are playing a little. And be cautious on the defense. Okay, that makes sense there. I'm going to stop right now and come back to the panel. I can't get everything in the channel. Neum, I haven't gotten any of your comments yet, but what does it say here? Havertz has too many chances to lose position. You cannot afford to do that against Real Madrid. Okay, let's see. Where did Bobby sleep today? Keep your optimism, mate. This club is going nowhere. Well, he could be right. You never know. Until the match is played, you don't know who the winner is. Pulisic, who's injury prone, comes right back in the team and leave Modric on the bench to suffer after making progress. I just cannot understand decision before the game. Okay.
Agreed on that.
There are no teams in the UEFA Champions League left that can deploy a Shandai style of football. That is good for us because CFC really struggles against physical teams. Declan, let me see in a bit. Just Real Madrid. Just let me skip about. I'm going to get to the very bottom. And that's how I feel. One of them said, if only Everton could get the corner and score, guess what they did? Which lots of them don't support Chelsea. 3 games in all takes for us is all it takes for us to forget an entire season. Let's stop the Havertz panda. Okay. Conor needs coaching and returning and nurturing in order to remain at Chelsea. He's too erratic. Too in a hurry to do everything. That's one of his biggest issues. I think there's a good player in him, but he needs a lot of coaching. So good one there. Bobby comes from a time where there were no Blues yet, only pensioners. That is funny, really funny from Glenn there. Opposition manager scared Potter. Yeah, okay, you wish. Let's see if Chelsea could only make a mistake. Guess what we did? Make a mistake, and Everton scored. Oh yeah. So you hate them for that, and I hate them for that too. I watched the Spanish version, unfortunately, because I was trying which one isn't far behind as I was watching it online. So, Declan, you wanted to say something? Go ahead, brother.
I can't remember, but I did want to say that was a great speech that Bobby gave, and don't be surprised if Chelsea give you an offer to come be a mentality coach, try to rally up the players.
Bobby has a strong mentality. He can do that. Yeah, go ahead.
If they're gonna hire rugby coaches or rugby motivational guys, why not Bobby? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Declan. I'll take that as a compliment. And by the way, big up, guys. DJ Sab, everyone.
Big up, Bobby. How are you?
Much love.
Much love. All blues. All for the good of our club. Coach, this is why I wanted Potter. Okay. His what track record, I guess. Okay, your phone is helping you spell that. In developing players, is there just his using the wrong players now, which are shocking.
Coach,
Sorry?
I think this bit of developing players, blah blah blah, we need to put that to bed now. I think it's too far gone now in the rabbit hole of losing games. I think he's scared to go back to being innovative, being creative, thinking outside the box type of manager. He knows he can't go into another 2-15, 2-17 type of run in the future. So be aware in the future you will have a more pragmatic Graham Potter, a manager that has to put results before thinking about developing players and all that, giving minute to Lewis Hall, minute to this guy here, this guy there. Now, I think he knows he has to win. This is where we miss a trick. This is where we should have gone in. I know it's like hindsight. We should have gone in for an elite coach who's been in situation like this, handle pressure, and was still able to implement their own philosophy. I'm worried. I'm like, are we ever gonna see the true Graham Potter? Like what you want to do, or he's just gonna be put in a cage because he has to win games. If he goes into another run like the one that we had before, forget it. The fans would 100%. The fans already turned on him, but he'll be even more vocal, and the owners will just have to get rid of him. So I think we have to forget about him being innovative and creative for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, some comment right there. Thank you so much for that, Rodrigo. Declan, your thoughts on the Mason Mount here from Fabrizio Romano about I think about 3 hours ago right now. 28% late again. How many hours for me now? 2:27 a.m. about 3 hours ago or so. Tony Mount remains Mason Mount's official agent. He has partnered with Neil Fewins. I don't know how you Fewins or Fewins. The ROOF group to help with talks as there is no agreement with Chelsea on new deal. Mount could leave in the summer if agreement wouldn't be reached. Liverpool remain among clubs interested. Where I see this, I think he's more likely to leave than stay. There's a possibility it's even more difficult if, in fact, what Mount what he's willing to agree to will, you could say, mean the club has to go against their current contract structure to accommodate him. It creates a problem for them because those ones who are signed already will be asking questions, why is this different? And we have a few other players who have just a few of them that has just a year left on each of their contracts. So it creates, it puts the club in a very precarious situation. But your thoughts on the Mount situation, what do you think will happen? What do you think of the whole situation?
Well, I don't agree that what you just said about the club structure and why is he not everyone has to be on the same contract, right? So Mount can have a unique contract. I don't see that as an issue. I don't see that.
Okay, so you don't think that's going to be a problem?
Well, each player gets paid different. Each player has different bonuses. I mean,
but unless you're
going to have equality across the board and everyone the same.
I'm not talking about not talking about how much he's going to ask. He will be whether he's asking 10 billion per. That's not my. That's
no,
not
I'm
what
saying the length of contract.
In terms of there's a basic. The structure has a basic, doesn't it?
Yeah, And Mounts can be based. Look, I think the main issue here is Tony Mount. I think that he as he has his dad's representative, is not an experienced agent, right? Maybe this is his first deal that he negotiated. You can tell that both of them probably want to stay at Chelsea, right? And they're probably comparing other players and whatnot, and that's probably another reason why they got this help in. And at the same time, this help goes both ways. Either they're going to help him try and negotiate something that both parties can agree on, since Tony Mount's not a professional, or if it goes south, then they'll negotiate with another club. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously this new ownership probably not looking at Mount as the older ownership might have, right? And I think there's going to be a calling of people that you didn't think would leave, and they'll just tell him to leave or not sign him. So we're getting almost like a fresh new look from top to bottom, coaches, staff. It's going to be crazy. It's a massive shake-up. It's probably what the big cause of the issue, all the club's issues at the moment. But it's a hard one. I couldn't see Mount leaving. I think there's a good chance he stays. I think he wants to stay. I just think they can't negotiate a proper deal when you have a non-professional trying to do it.
Do you think it's 50-50, or do you think it leans towards one way, like staying?
I think it leads towards staying.
Really?
I think yeah. I think mainly the issue was that, which I thought was kind of valid. If it's true, the length of contract was something they brought up, that was reported on, and the fact that if they are trying to get him on a 7-year contract, then that means he hits 30, and he probably has no wiggle room after that, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it's 5, he's 28, and some of the big contracts, as we've seen in the past, or as we've seen with other players, you can negotiate your probably biggest contract at that age. And 2 years does make a difference. So I could see that point. And I don't know why that would be such an issue if Mount was on a 5-year contract rather than a 7. If the money wasn't an issue. If the wages weren't an issue. If that's true, something like that, if that's true, I can get it. But if his dad's just stubborn and just going, hey, look, his English counterparts get so-and-so money and he gets this money, do you know what I mean? And if they're just stubborn, sticking to the same thing, I can see why they're in this situation.
Makes sense. Let me catch up while I have the chat to bring on someone else. But thank you so much, Edouard. It makes sense. I think he can have a different structure of contract, but the basics will still be there. That's how I see it. Probably the structure may well be the issue, like you suggested, or that may well be the problem. But I don't blame him for looking for, and whatever they're asking for, they have every right to do so. Is work for them. It's business for all parties involved, the club and the players themselves. Potter through the game when he brought in, I think I've read that one. I hope Bobby is right, but even when we do beats in these games, I know Potter will get excited and start tinkering, and then Ancelotti's eyebrows will raise, and that will be the end of us. That man is something special. He also chews gum like he's eating yam. But that's just I am afraid you're seeing the true ground Potter in this finesse final years, man. That's to you. That's with regards to Rodrigo's comments. Sources have told ESPN that Chelsea are considering Andreas Pereira as a possible Mount replacement. Well, okay. Rumors will start flying in right now. My stance on Mount remains the same as it was last season. Decent player, but after the horrible season he's had, he should perform for his wage. Or feel free to go anywhere. And there's no way to tell whether how much he's asking is the issue. So again, I've heard that too many times, but I really don't want to go into that because we'll have no right to question how much he's asking. He's the one that's doing the job. And if you work for any organization, you ask for what you feel like, you deserve. If that makes sense. There's an article on this man every single day. He's truly massive. Why would we let him go? I don't know. They're not coming to an agreement. And unfortunately for him, he's in a bad run of form. Everybody just jumps to the conclusion he's a bad player. Like I've said, I'm sure even saying he's a bad player, celebrated that goal he scored and made sure we made it into top 4. That goal against Wolves, his goal against Real Madrid, and probably singing him praises and all that. But because he's in a bad round of form, people just, he's a bad player, sell him. All I just want is that if he's going to stay, he needs a lot of coaching. I think we can get more out of him than just focus on his industry, on the amount of running he does on the pitch. I think that's really bad for him, actually. Fortunately, if he leaves and goes to Liverpool, I think Klopp will also, again, what probably will find it difficult to look beyond his industry and the amount of running he does on the pitch and won't help him become a better player, which I hated Tuchel for that. Just played him for his energy, even when he was mentally tired. I dislike that, but that's me. Maybe people see it differently. When all the players were rumored to be unhappy, fans were happy to berate them and tell them, where the door is, a club of a player. Unfortunately, with Mount, it's a different story. That is just how you see it. That's just how you see it. Like, I'm going to say this again. We don't know. We talk about these things from the information we get on the surface level. We really don't know what's going on. We're not part of the negotiations, if that makes sense. Apologies to Bobby, but his winning mentality and standard baffles me. I have been a fan since '98. Yeah, that's a long time. That's a long time too. But you don't want to start comparing that with Bobby. But I get where you're coming from. Here's the thing. It's important. Just believe. Belief can take you with strong belief. You can move mountains. So I give it to Bobby. Big up Chelsea family. I'm happy to be here today. Yeah, good to see. Please like the channel. Important. Thank you, everyone. Keep liking the stream. People will have 55 likes. We should be doing better than that. If Mount leaves, we could regret leaving Chelsea, and we also could regret selling him, if that makes sense. It's the way. Both parties have self-interest. Business for all parties involved. Should Mount sign, what becomes of his status at the club? A star player, a squad player, or a face of the club? It's all about the dynamics of his at this point. I think I agree with you. If Tuchel was in charge, we blow this side off the draw to hell. And with all the Italians on the other side of the draw, we rest the first team for the final. I get that. It sounds easy, but I don't think it will ever be that easy. Save Mount, Potter out. I'm not going to say Potter out because I want to save Mount. Thank you for that. Now I understand why they sacked Tuchel. Stupid owners needed a stupid coach to waste 600 million by playing stupid players like Gallagher. Wow. You don't need to call him stupid player. If you don't like him, I just say call him a bad player. I'd rather you do that. Like Gallagher, Tuchel was too genius for this job. I cannot see academy rubbish. Wow, Logan. A question for Bobby. Lots of people sending lots of questions for Bobby. I'll save that and have him answer that. How long will it take to understand our players? Okay. If Potter was wise by half, I'm coming. He will recruit a very senior and experienced assistant coach. His four and his assistants also don't cut it. Maybe because they're all together. We survived when Hazard left, and here's the thing. I agree. Club over players. Yeah. And we will if Mount leaves. Okay, I get it. People think Potter is not Mount. It's not a Mount side. Potter literally would play Mount whenever he had the chance. Mount likes to play, he said, but he benched him on 3 consecutive games even when he was fit. Also, 3 consecutive games or 2 at least. Let me not just pull numbers out of my wazoo and throw it at you. Okay, Bobby, if you want to answer the question now before I get Rodrigo's thoughts on Mount's situation. Here's it. Here's the question here. How long will it take Graham Potter to understand our players? That's the question, Bobby.
I think if the players are fit and they all come together for this summer's pre-season, I think that should be enough. Chelsea is clearly suffering for a very disruptive pre-season. That's one of the things, as well as the injury. Tactically, I've seen some improvements in the last three games. I have to say that. And hand on heart, I'm as brutal with Graham Potter as anybody. But hand on heart, I couldn't blame him for Saturday. I think Saturday was Koulibaly with his inconsistency in defence. The set piece, he should have cleared it. He was beaten in the air, both him and Fofana, to be fair. And but you have to be able to rely on your goalkeeper as the last man. Now, if that had been Mendy, Mendy will come with his long arms, clear everybody, and collect the ball. Even if you've got short arms, you should come to collect the ball. But Kepa doesn't. He stands there frozen, confused. And that's why they scored. The second one, Koulibaly again, he was done. He shouldn't have been done. Where was, I think Chalobah was on at that time. I'm not sure where he was, but there was definitely a defensive issue. But the ball came and the goalkeeper actually got his hand to it. And I find it incredibly frustrating. I know Roger might come for me because he's a goalkeeping lawyer as well as Potter's lawyer.
Potter's lawyer.
But, well, I would say both because he was an ex-goalkeeper. So
is that his playing position?
Yeah,
he was a goalkeeper.
It makes sense.
So he's very.
They say goalkeepers aren't really like players,
Yeah. Bless him. Roger's my man, but yeah, he loves his keepers. But he got his hand to the ball, but clearly he didn't get enough on the ball, so the ball went through him, which I think is almost unforgivable. But there we are. That wasn't Potter's fault, in my opinion. It really wasn't.
I still think it was. Again, I don't. The only one blame I have, with regards to that game was bringing in Gallagher on when he did and how he applied himself. Exactly. And we lost coordination when that happened. So, Rodrigo, I'm going to come to you in a bit to get your thoughts on the Mount situation, and Bobby will still get to speak that. Bobby, I saved one more question for you, but let's have others speak first. If Potter was wise by half, he will recruit a very. Okay, I've read that one too. We survived. Okay, that one too. I think I went up a bit because I wanted Bobby to answer a question. Mace went to the UFC because he had not seen a proper fight in a while. Okay, Glenn, I get that. Other than Spurs and West Ham, Mount has never been benched by Potter. Yeah, but that benching was, I was shocked then. I didn't expect him to bench him two consecutive games. Preseason, Bobby is now talking like Potter. That's life. Well, you guys should stop the exercise of preseason. We have a very terrible coach. Simple. Let's call a spade a spade. Okay, thank you for that. So, Rodrigo, your thoughts on the Mount situation. What do you think? And I want to get your verdict. And I promise maybe if we see something new, I think we should stop discussing his situation actually. Because it's the same thing. It just comes back whether he stays or not, or whether he's close to leaving, or whether he's more likely to leave. Because I've seen comments similar to this more than a zillion times. This, if he could live in the summer, if agreement won't be reached. Yeah, nothing new there. But your thoughts on the situation?
That is the most obvious thing. I agree with what Declare was saying. I think Tony Mount is probably the person that's blocking all this. Obviously that's when you have your dad.
What has led to that suspicion? Okay, go ahead. You were about to say
because
that.
when you have your parent, they obviously your agent, obviously they always work for, they always want to get the best deal for you, but it's a bit extra when you have your parent or any family member doing that for you. So I think he's trying to work out the best deal for Mount. And then he's probably, like what Declare said, this is a big deal. To contract negotiation, I don't think it's as simple as all right, we're gonna offer you 250k a week. Okay, sign here. I think there are other things like the image rights, all of that. There's a lot of complexity. So maybe he's not as experienced as obviously other agents. So that's another element. Hence why they bring in this Neil Fewings guy or agency to help them. So all in all, I think he will stay. I've got a feeling that it will stay. I think it will be one of those. He might drag into the summer, but eventually I can see him signing. Because if you think about it, it's gonna cost. In terms of costing, if you sell Mount, you're gonna have to replace Mount with say a 50 or 4, let's say between 50 and 60 million pound player, and then that
maybe to make up the quota and academy product, you have to make up the quota.
Yeah,
do you
exactly.
think you still have enough if he leaves?
I think I think we do. I'm not worried about the academy quota. I think we have enough. We have, because you know you don't even have to have those players. You can literally have a smaller squad like what Man City do. They just have 22 players because they can't be asked to fill in the other academy quota. So we could. I think that's not. I think he's gonna stay, but who's to say? It's still up in the air. But I think he'll stay. I think he will stay. He will sign that contract, maybe on different terms. So maybe this new agent will probably go to the dad and say, "Listen, this is the best deal you can get for him." And maybe they'll look around at Liverpool. I don't know if Liverpool can even afford to pay the fee that we want and to pay him the wages, because Liverpool wage structures, I think is definitely lower than ours, and I don't think they pay the players that high. Look how Sadio Mane had to leave because they couldn't give him what he thought he deserved. So the only place I can see him go and earn big money is probably Man United. I don't know if they're interested in him, and I don't know if he want to go there, but I think he will sign at Chelsea. It's just a matter of this new agent that he signed sitting down with the club at the end of the season and get us sorted. Because what I'm hearing, what you see in the media, people that back Man, they're saying, "Oh, the club are pushing Mount away." No, the club is actively trying to keep Mount. He's just that.
Rodrigo, just quickly, once you finish, you hand over to Bobby. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay, yeah. It's not like the club is pushing him out the door. It's just that they're not agreeing on certain terms, and this is probably why they're bringing in this guy, because I think Tony Mount is at the limit of his experience. He can't go any further. So you need to bring in people that have expertise, people that can that know how to twist arms and stuff. Yeah. Anyways, Bobby, what you got to say? Oh, Bobby's gone. Declare.
Well, we can do it back and forth.
We can do it back and forth. I personally, do you know what?
I'm agreeing on points.
But Mount is a quality player. I'll keep him. I think he's good off the bench. He offers you different attributes. You know, he's better option off the bench than Gallagher. That's for sure.
Yeah, and these players haven't become the players, they're probably meant to be yet, or they can be. They haven't fulfilled their potential yet. Yeah. So Mount can go still both ways. He can become a great player, or he can become, just the average player. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot that goes into, and there's a lot of lessons learned. Players go on their own journeys. It's not really set for how a player is going to end up. So and I that's why I found it a bit tragic that everyone wants him out. And it's not just Mount. It's becoming like it's Gallagher now, and it's becoming a lot of our youth players, and it's a lack in the system that we aren't getting the best of these players. And now, and the scariest thing about that is that now we have a full team like that. So if people want to, let's say you got Mason. Let's say Boehly listened to the fans. Yeah. Let's say he did his own polls, right? He goes, "You want Mount out?" All right. A lot of people say, "All right, see you later." Right? Let's say that's how he did his business.
Will be gone by now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because after Mount and Gallagher.
I'm driving, so when I press on mute. I sometimes switch it off. Sorry, guys.
No worries, no worries.
No worries, no worries.
Go on,
Declan, you want to go ahead so we can bring in Bobby? He speaks, or do you want him to speak since he's driving?
Yeah.
No, go on, Declan. I didn't mean
Fofana.
to interrupt. I just felt I had to explain myself because.
Okay, go ahead, Declan. When you drop, you can come in.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. But we feel you're meant to it was meant to be your turn and you dropped out, so you can stick on the topic.
Sorry, I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm even wondering what the topic was. What is it? Is
the
it
Mount situation? The Mount
Oh,
situation.
well, yeah. I have to say,
and we recognize the fact. Okay, go ahead.
I really agree with Rodrigo. You know, how old is Mount now? 23. I think there comes a time in life where your parents have to stay out of your business. You know, you're a man of your own right. You make your own decisions. And all this, you know, daddy, take care of me and all that sort of thing. I know your parents will always be good guidance and guidance for you as you mature. You always turn to your father for advice and things, and that's good. But to have him as your agent, I think is questionable because clearly he's of a different mind to his father. And because it's his father, he would listen to his father because all his life he's gathered wisdom from his father. But if he could look at his journey in Chelsea as an example, his father didn't want him to come to Chelsea in the first place. He wanted to come. And his father didn't want him to stay at Chelsea. He wanted to stay and he broke through. He told his father he's going to break through. He's going to be the first Chelsea player to break through after John Terry. Now, he wasn't quite that, but he certainly broke through to the senior team. So I think Mount really has to make a decision for himself. I know probably why he went to watch the UFC is that if I were anything to do with Mount's management, I think part of his healing and recovery will be to switch off of football. That guy has played too much football, which is part of what his burnout has been and loss of form has been. So I understand that. Yeah, I understand that, and I don't get these fans saying, "Oh, he should be at the game, watching the game, and all that." Why? Just tensing himself up even more. Sometimes watching is as much as playing, as we all know. You know, especially now watching Chelsea, crikey, that is almost a heart attack. So he needs to switch off, and I'm with Declared and with Rodrigo. I can see him signing at Chelsea. I have a feeling he doesn't want to go. I really don't think he wants to go. I mean,
it won't be easy.
Yeah, I don't think. And you know, who's going to be able to pay him much more? Where will he go? I mean, who really who wants him? And you know, if Eden Hazard has taught these guys anything, the grass is not greener on the other side. It's not, guys. You know, as I told you in your last stream when I was last with you, Coach. I'm tired of seeing Chelsea players when they go on these transfers, they go to these clubs and sit on the bench, and you know they end up in an even worse position than what they were supposed to be running away from. The list is endless of these players. So I think Mount should seize his opportunity. Yeah, there's going to be competition at Chelsea. There always is. But Lampard dealt with it and came out on top. So many. Terry dealt with it and came. There were blooming world-class defenders coming in by the dozen, and he was being picked ahead of them. You can improve your game and become the player. I don't think it would be good for him to leave. He can build legacy here. The fans love him. He's a Chelsea boy, which is huge. You know, in terms of his image rights, he can build on that, especially if if the club is successful. So I think it's you always talking about going to heaven that got church. So you know, I don't see. I think they should find an agreement. And his dad is still part of his agent team, but
True.
I think they've employed someone now, haven't they? And because this person is a neutral person, I think he'll get the deal signed. And Boehly's not dealing with it either. It's now Vival that's handling all the transfers. So it's all very different, and it's all sort of neutral people who can knock out something sensible for the player and for the club.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much. Let me catch up with the chat. Coming with Rodrigo. You are the chat. Those in the chat, you are their
The ambassador.
representative. Yep. So, but again, once more, an excellent contribution from Bobby there as usual. Bobby, I had no problem with GP for the last 18 games because I know he's learning to be a big coach with Chelsea. But we were doing well in the last games, and his mid-table mentality got in the way. Okay, if that's how you feel. Porter took 3 years to show proper improvement to Brighton while they were building steady. The rapid introduction of high-profile and expensive players is clearly something Porter cannot keep up with. Some argument. The New York guy, did I say hello to you? Big up to you too, the New York guy, Keshawn. I hope you're doing well. Salute, Glenn. Salute to you too. If nobody is paying more than we are, then he will stay. Yeah, because it's about business, but there's more to that also. He needs to be happy. He's not going to, as an England international, I don't think he'd like a situation where after everything he's won, because to him, I think he feels like he's arrived too. I don't think he will take playing second fiddle or not being a starter. I'm not saying regular starter, at least even being a rotational player would be difficult for him to accept, but I'm not him. I hope they find a solution because he's more than just a player for us. We will be linked with signings, Andres. We're being linked, okay, with signing Andres Pereira. He would be homegrown and an upgrade on Mason Mount. That is coming from somebody who is so into let's have it right. I'm shocked. Really. God of Frog. But that's by the way, will Mason Mount be happy as a squad player? Yep, exactly the question I was asking. I don't think it would be. As an England international, and he still has a long way to go, I don't think he'll be happy to be a squad player. I believe he will be homegrown. Okay, I don't know much about him. I'd have to research him. Hello to you too, Constantine Dante, my Australian bro. I appreciate you finding time to join the show. So much love. Thank you so much once again. Nice to see you. Mountain Havat could be quality squad depth. They better not be starters though. Good luck. Good luck accounting using them that way. You lose them. Bobby had to mute himself because he was absolutely destroying the Sunday driver in front of him. Oh my goodness! It's if Mount gets off this team, yeah, I get what you're saying there about his progress after he leaves. Well, but that doesn't change anything for him. Mount and Gallagher are lacking proper coaching to help them develop. That has always been one of my strongest arguments. Mount needs even more coaching. I get it. He's won the Champions League, Europa Super Cup, the Club World Cup, but he still needs a lot of coaching. He's still young, but unfortunately for him, managers hardly look beyond his industry. If he's cheap and fills a homegrown spot, why not? Okay, I get the argument there. Our major problem now is that does Chelsea players value preseason training because Chelsea players are done. They don't take preseason training seriously. Okay, take from example last season was a perfect example. You could argue that preseason, you could say that a ground mopping by Arsenal, that's disgraceful. Yolande Anthony, Mason's Chelsea career, 30 goals and 24 assists in 185 games, 16% goal and 30% in assets. That's 29% goal involvement in that Chelsea. Is that Chelsea quality? I know, Declan, you like this type. You want to, I know probably, I can call you Mount's lawyer, which is not bad. But Declan, your thought on this coming from Yoland?
Mount's lawyer? Hey, sell him already.
Mount has already got Matt Law. You need more lawyers?
He has plenty of lawyers. But your thoughts on this comment? Are you there, Declan? Are you reading it?
Yeah, I was just reading it. Mm-hmm. Just reading it again. 16 goals, 13 assists, 13% assists. I mean, isn't 29% goal involvement decent for someone that's.
I don't know. You tell me.
I mean, what are we comparing to? Has Mount always played in the forward roles? I mean, he's been played a 6. He's been played a winger. He's been played everywhere, I think. And when he started, he was more in the midfield. He did a lot of the running and did a lot of the running back. I think it's unfair to cherry pick a stat like this. I mean, can we ask, has Mount been pretty good? Not of late, but in his time at Chelsea, I think he's been a bit inconsistent, but he's had some good times, yeah, like good games, good performances.
Mm-hmm.
In that amount of games, I think that stat is can be agenda based. If you want to shine a light on Mount and every other player, we can pull up this season, for example, a lot of new players as well. We can pull up this season and pull up player stats and how terrible they will look. And if we wanted to run an agenda on someone, it's pretty easy to just pull out a stat and pile up on someone.
I'm going to start saying cherry pick a lot.
Yeah. Do you like cherries? Am I throwing you off, Coach?
No, I every time you respond to somebody critiquing somebody, and you always use that term cherry pick, but it makes sense.
I like that. I like that term because it's a very delicate. It's a very delicate pick, cherry picking.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I think if anyone wants to prove a point that you can pick out a stat, and I think it's unfair like that. You know what I mean? I could do what Matt does. And I miss Matt, and I think he's in hiding now. I could say, well, Kepa has this many clean sheets.
Mm-hmm.
To make him a good keeper?
I love to see you go on a tour like Matt.
Tours cut short after yesterday's game.
Oh my goodness. Glenn is killing me. He sent me something, and I'm not going to share that on the screen. Just go ahead, Declan.
Share it.
All right, thank you. Go ahead if you were still speaking.
No, that's it. I don't know what else to say. It's just a stat you can pull up, and I mean, let me ask that. I forgot their name, but what is a Chelsea quality percentage? Like, what's the stat that a player should be at?
Is it capped?
Yeah, well, what's the goal involvement percentage that Chelsea standard requires?
If it is capped, let us know. Is it capped? That's your question, right? Is it capped somewhere to say this is where you need to reach? Is that what you're saying? Is there a cutoff? Well, a cutoff number maybe, not capped.
No. Is there a number to reach? Do you know what I mean? Like, if they don't reach it, they get, that's how they get out of the club. So I'd like to know, people. I mean, I'm pretty sure that person that posted up that stat doesn't even understand. Doesn't understand what Chelsea quality is. This and that. So it's interesting to just pull out something and go, is this Chelsea quality? I mean, we're 10th place. What is Chelsea quality? I mean, let's dissect that. What is Chelsea quality? We're talking about getting rid of Chelsea's youth here, right? That's all that's been topical. This whole season has been so interesting for me, and why I've been more vocal. I don't know how that Potter doesn't get the most attention. I don't think he has this whole season, and it baffles me.
People like who they want to bring. They have against specific individuals that they like to play. I get your point. I'm just saying that because you said you don't know how Potter isn't getting the most attention with regards to where we're at and how we're doing. Correct me if I'm misquoting you, but go ahead.
No, that's correct. I don't know how he just doesn't get he's not the most talked about. It can be boring, I guess, and that talk only kicked off in Southampton after the Southampton game. But before that, it was the least talked about. And if you sum it up all together, even now, the biggest talking point has been Mount or Gallagher and stuff like that. You can tell in that all it took was to win a couple games, and everyone was on board. So I don't understand how. People want Potter. I don't get that, and I'd love to know anyone from the chat, whatever, is where they get that hope from, or what they see in Potter that I don't see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me catch up with the chat here. This says, okay, I don't think we get Felix. I don't know why you're saying that. Anyway, that's off topic, but if you let us know why, maybe I'll look at it. The club will need to make the homegrown number up if we are to shift guys like Mountain, Gallagher, etc. Yep. Not as bad as, to be honest. Okay. I will take Andres Pereira. Okay, let's see. We're on vacation in the US while Arsenal was training very hard. I got to watch that one that they what game? No, I watched the Chelsea versus US, what's it called? Club America. That was the one I watched in Vegas. Yeah, I didn't watch that game for Arsenal. But that's, by the way, decent stats, to be honest, perhaps not for guaranteed starting material. Wow, okay. That's decent for Chelsea. Not good enough in your opinion. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Can we get Pulisic Ziyech numbers? I don't have it up here, but maybe another show. So we're really running out of time now. In terms of stats, I need to do some digging to get the correct stuff there right now. Mount needs proper coaching. Where would the proper coaching come from, Potter? Yeah, good question there. Important thing to note is that goal involvement dropped incredibly ever since Mason Mount went into his preferred 8 and 10 roles. Wow, some argument. I like Mount, but it's clout. But this clout is bigger than his skill set. A very polarizing figure. Really, compare Mount to his English peers. You go ahead, do that. Mount Sarnau he's not that influence in the team. And okay, no agenda, please. You already got the numbers. Okay. Declare, you're kind of waffling right now, really. Okay, I know Declare will respond to that quickly. Get Casado, Paulina, or Florentino, Luis, and Osimhen. And then a proper manager and Chelsea will be ready for next season. We can waffle as much as we want. Potter is not the guy. And we can also say Potter is not the guy as much as we want. I don't think he goes anywhere until the end of the season, if that makes sense. And those players you mentioned, Osimhen alone will be close to £100 million. And do I think the owners would do that? Let's see what happens. I'm not too sure they will.
I've got a theory about this Osimhen or striker. I feel that the striker that obviously being reported Chelsea won the striker. I feel like the striker would be Nkunku. I know he said he doesn't really want to play as a striker, but I've got a feeling that we're not gonna go and sign. I could be wrong, or Osimhen or Vlahovic. I think it'd probably just be Nkunku.
And you think we'll still continue with a fluid approach rather than go for a traditional striker?
Anyway, that's the approach that I like, but obviously people have different ways they view football. I personally don't like strikers, traditional strikers, or inside the box.
I've moved on from that scene ever since.
I watched Osimhen against I've forgotten who Napoli played, and he's the real deal.
Torino.
He really is.
Did you watch him on the weekend? Was he at the weekend?
I didn't watch him in the club game. It was a Champions League game I watched him.
Okay.
And he's a player and a half. He really is a goal scorer. And I think he'll fit into any system of play. You know, he's not particularly, I mean, he's a proper centre forward, but he's mobile, which is not a Lukaku at all. So I wouldn't mind him. I know he's going to be expensive, but I think he would fit in. But another striker I'm really hoping Chelsea, maybe, I know it'll be difficult, start looking at is Julian Alvarez. You know, he would fit definitely.
Oh, that's a pipe dream.
Never say never.
The argument about to see him, especially here on the panel, isn't that he's as bad as Lukaku? No, we've always said we recognize he's better than Lukaku. He has a better touch than Lukaku. Aerially, even though Lukaku is a big man too, I think he's better aerially than Lukaku. He has a good leap in him. He has some serious leap in him. And but here's the argument I've always made. He's played predominantly 99.9% of the top, again, all his life as a traditional number 9. So if you put him in a team where he's not going to be the focal point, I think frustration will set in first of all. He expects whenever he's on the pitch, he becomes the guy that everything goes through once it's time to score goals. Or majority of the time goes through him. That has always been my argument. And the way we play now, even Haaland will struggle in this approach to the game because we don't create too many clear-cut chances, even if you have a number 9. That's why Aubameyang has struggled whenever he's on the pitch. The manager himself has always played mainly with a more fluid approach and having a traditional number 9, if you get my argument. But I get where you're coming from. If we have Mourinho or if we have Carlo Ancelotti, who else again? Let me, or maybe Silas Ferguson, you say, get Osimhen, I'll say, don't waste time. I will say that. I said, don't go get them for them. That's not, the argument isn't whether Osimhen is good on the ball. He's shown that he has some good touch. I would say excellent. He's shown also he can drop deep and participate in the play. But go ahead, Bobby. It looks like you wanted to say something else.
Yeah, I do. I don't want to invalidate what you're saying because you probably know far more about him than I do.
And there's a chance I'm dead wrong.
But I've got to say, from what I saw of him, he would fit into Chelsea because he's not particularly a player that is a target man per se. He makes his own chances. He scores goals out of nothing. The first goal he scored for Napoli in that Champions League game was a header. The ball was crossed over. It was just, he really had to work hard to get up there and get that ball. The second, he fought on a low cross and skidded along the floor and scored. It was the typical type of ball that comes to Chelsea, and the strikers can't get it. Even against Everton, there was a time the ball was crossed along the floor and João Felix couldn't reach it ahead of the Everton keeper. I always forget his name. But so I don't know. I think if he comes, he would make a difference. He's that sort of player. He's a top geezer. I've watched him and I'm like, this is better than I expected. Trouble is, he's going to cost. He'll be at least 100 million.
And that is if they want to sell. You know who Laurentiis is.
I think they will. I think they probably sell him rather than the Georgian guy,
the other guy we can't pronounce his name.
Dvishak Kvaratskhelia.
I really do want to get the glass thought announcing him talk, but that's not me either. Again, our approach to the game and how Graham Potter plays. Plus how long the player has played as the focal point wherever team he's played for. So we'll come back. We'll talk about that. I want to get to see what's his name, the class thought on that. If you don't know your quality, then who is going to tell you? Well, I don't know. Any Potter lawyers? We don't have any Potter lawyer on the panel today. Maybe in the chat. I haven't seen any in the chat. Also, Bobby isn't Potter's lawyers, even though he wouldn't blame him for anything last game, but he still have questions. I still have questions. I'm not by any means necessarily Potter's lawyer. I'm predicting Potter will be sacked in April. The run of games we have is very, very difficult.
Point.
Well, a lot of people have been predicting he'd be fired. Every game is the last game. This is the game that if he loses this one, he's gone. Both Mount and Gallagher should be sold. At least that's what you think. And Taha, thank you for finding the time to join the show. We should get Paulinho, Osimhen, a new elite manager, and Raya. Wow. Some players, take Raya as a backup goalie. I like, what's the Portuguese goalkeeper? Diogo Costa. Every time I say his name, I remember Diego Costa. I think Kepa is better than him.
He's got Bozo jeans, that Diego Costa.
But something Gallagher to fire the groundsman. Sorry about the cough. Yeah, I saw that we sacked the groundsman. I don't get the reason. I don't know. we're sacking the wrong people. That's how I see it. I played football. If you don't train properly, there's bound to be injuries. Honestly, almost all the academy players, only 2 players were at the level of Chelsea: John Terry and Reece James. Lewis Hall, I like him so much. Ian Matson is an excellent player. Chalova also, I think he's an excellent player. I haven't given up on him. We seem to forget he was one of our best defenders before World Cup. I don't know what has happened before he started seeing the bench. Coach Aston Villa manager and Wolves manager are better than Potter. Okay.
Yes.
Who's Aston Villa's manager?
Emery.
Good evening, right?
Yeah.
You don't need to tell me that. I know already. You don't need to tell me that. Until Potter, the imposter, leaves the bridge will remain broke. Okay, the only negative thing about Osimhen is Laurentiis, or whatever his name is. Yeah, good luck dealing with him.
Especially if they win the Scudetto and they win the Champions League. Good luck getting Osimhen.
Yeah,
Coach, why are you reading out all these toxic? There's a lot of toxic people here. They're not.
Sometimes you need to respond to
they're
them.
Truly. They're not.
That's why. No, they're not. I know. Here's the thing. I know all of them. I know if you're not a Chelsea fan, I know that we're here. If there's anything to educate anybody, I do. They're entitled to their opinion. That's why we have a show. So don't worry about that, Bobby. I'm personally leaning towards
it's very skewed.
Goncalo Ramos, but a DM first. I don't think Benfica will sell. If anybody thinks they will sell, let me know. Salute. Declan is saying hello to you. What else do we have here? I'm going to skip down. Rodrigo Nkunku is not a striker, but he's played there before. We could start deploying him as a second striker. Big up Kuchila. How much really is Smith asking? I'm not sure, really. If it's asking 250, I think the board should oblige him already and this once and for all. Otherwise, beyond 280K would be ridiculous. I'm not sure how much he's asking, and I don't want to talk about it. He has every right to ask for whatever he thinks is worth. We brought Enzo Fernandez to create chances, and then through the striker who would throw with the striker who would thrive off that service. I think that's a solid argument. He picks up some good long balls, and Aubameyang maybe would have done well because if he makes the run, he picks him up. Would you take Kante? No, bye-bye. I wouldn't even read that one completely. We don't even have an established playing system yet. We wait. We want all profile of strikers. Okay, so let's do that. I'm going to stop here at this point, and then I'll be highlighting what you have in the chat. I can't read everything as much as I enjoy doing that. Again, if I try to get everything you have in the chat, that's all we do for the day. Rodrigo, I don't know if you've spoken about Messi Mount, or should I go to JC? JC,
go to JC.
Okay, JC, your thoughts on the Mason Mount situation so that we can move on to the next topic.
Hi, Coach. Do you hear me properly? Because I have a different mic today. So
maybe you have to get closer to it, or maybe turn up the volume.
Okay, is it better now?
It's better. I think we can manage with that. Go ahead.
I will try to do it this way then. Okay.
Okay, perfect.
So a few very key points. So I think the club has shown that they are capable of taking very drastic steps, and they can make U-turns in a big way. As we saw from the Enzo Fernandez deal, where club first went to purchase him, then they said, okay, it's not happening, and then towards the end of the window, they just made a U-turn and went, and they just took it and bought him at any cost, to say that. So I still think the club is still open to that. I also see, and here's the thought for all of you also. According to my mathematics, and I can explain it in a very, very, very layman language as well, how I come to this figure. Mount is looking at something between 400,000 to £500,000 per week, plus a signing on fee of around 5 to 10 million. Now, is Mount?
How did you come up with that? Do you have any sources that has told you that that's exactly what's going on behind the scenes that we don't know?
No, I can give you. It's a simple logic, very easy logic.
Okay, go ahead.
2 years ago, he was offered by Rahman in previous ownership 180,000 per week, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And he said no, that's not enough. So he valued himself more than that. And he said, fine, I am on 40,000, I will stay on 40,000, I will run down the contract, and eventually I will recoup this money which I will lose right now. But I'm not going to sign on 180,000. So that means for 2 years, he has been getting 140,000, at least 140,000 per week, less than what he expects to get. And if it is not even 180,000, and let's say it's 180,000, you add 180,000 plus 140,000 per week for last 2 years, that makes it $320,000 pounds. That's already 320,000, and he says that's not enough. So we are reaching at somewhere a figure of around 400,000. And then he's expecting a short-term contract. And he was thinking, or his father was thinking, well, if you are not agreeing with it, we run down the contract and we will get the same money from somebody else who signed it. And then Chelsea's management comes in and says, no, you are not going to run it down. This is the summer. You either sign it or we sell you. And then his father thinks, okay, then we have to look at the best deal for us if it is going to be a sale. And then he gets another agent as a help. It's simple math. For him, 350,000 is not enough. Only if he has to recover what he has to do. So for the last 2 years, he has invested. All the while running down the contract.
Nobody in football is going to pay him that.
Here's the other side of the coin. Here's the other side of the coin for Chelsea. If Chelsea sells him with only 1 year contract left, we'll probably get around 40 to 50 million pounds. 42, because he's homegrown and UK, and he has got. And I'm not talking about the image rights right now. I'm just talking about the salary.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's to be sold, club gets straight away profit because we didn't invest anything in buying him. So 50 million is a windfall straight away. Plus any legacy costs which are gone. Okay, he's played for us for 2 years for 40,000. We are fine with that. The management will be thinking. So is he a club, and how many players earn this kind of a salary? Probably Hazard starts at 450 or 400, or Gareth Bale was like that. I know, like, okay, we can say Mbappe, and that is totally different level. But just below that level, he is expecting levels like that just to be at where he wants to be in terms of the revenues. Is he a player worth that? I think Chelsea will make a call. The other side of the coin is, or the other side of the bargain is, get 50 million for it.
Yeah, but I don't think we get that much money for him because he doesn't. His contract. He doesn't have much left on his contract. Let me catch up with the chat. I think I have a question for Bobby there. This particular question, but I'll have to go back a bit to oblige those who were there. Starting with where should I go back up to? Where did I see this? Chelsea among the club. I've read that one. How are Chelsea interested in the likes of Pereira when we need a DM and Paulinha is in the same club? Yep. I don't know. The tough could be a reason for the injuries. It's very possible. It's been an issue in the NFL lately. Wow, the one Danzo, that's a point. That again, maybe, but do they train? Yeah, again, I don't know. Let's see if that's a problem, really. But I think we'll get to hear more of why the groundsman was fired. But thank you for saying that, the Danzo. Coachella, you always are saying how Potter plays. I still don't see how he plays. 3-6-1 to protect a 1-0 lead. With Chelsea all the way, big up to you for that comment. I appreciate that. Why is everyone coming on Havertz when Felix missed a chance? I'm not going to get into that right now. Bobby's saying watching Chelsea now gives him heart attack. Where does his optimism come from? Because he loves Chelsea. Because he always wants Chelsea to do well, no matter how he feels about the manager or the players, if that makes sense. Tax, again, Bobby, this one is for you if you're still there. I wanted you to help us answer this one. It says tax is really high in UK. So if Mount is asking for 300K, only earns half of that. It's a question. Is that correct? Any UK guys? No. Bobby, do you know? Is that correct?
Well, I mean, there are huge tax deductions once you're outside of the tax bracket. So if he earns 300K a week, he'll probably end up with like maybe, it's not far, maybe 260.
No, it's 50%. It's 50%.
50, but that's half of. So okay, you're in the UK too, Rodrigo, right?
Because he's in a different
bracket. Yeah. So okay. So, but then that's a
so
lot
they
of
tax,
money.
They tax the rich more. They tax the rich more in the in the UK.
Yeah.
Yes.
So in the UK, they do, if you earn from 0 to say, zero, obviously, no. From 12 to 13,000 to say 45,000, they tax you at 20%. 45 to say, I don't know, I'm not sure about the numbers, but the percentage is like 4, and then you get like 40%, and then the guys that are above, say 70,000 a year to, it's like 50%. So
this is per annum, right? This is per annum.
Per annum. Yes.
But the fact of this matter is that there are other additional perks that they get and bonuses, and I can assure you there's nobody going to pay Mason Mount 300K a week. Yeah, unless when Man United get their new owners in, maybe they're that stupid. Maybe they'll have that money to throw and waste. Who's going to pay him that? Liverpool aren't going to pay him that. That's for sure.
So this is why I would have liked to conclude also my argument is. What will happen is, hopefully he was thinking like, I'll run down the contract, I'll feel the market, what is going on, and then eventually I will agree with something with Chelsea. But Chelsea is saying, no, we are not going to do that. We are signing a contract in summer. And
right,
he could get that money if it's a free contract.
Oh, a lot. He could get a lot as a sign-on fee. Yep.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. If it's a free.
So Kishan is saying, sorry, go ahead, Declare.
I was just mentioning he's got 1 year left. So like if nothing, can get worked out, all he has to do is wait a year to get that money, or more than what he's asking for.
He'll probably prefer doing that. He's still young.
It's an option. That's why his camp has more of the negotiating power. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
but
a risk. Even from 2 years, it's also a risk in 2 years. Go ahead. Who was saying something?
Yeah, if he is not going to get this kind of money from the market, then he signs.
Yeah. That's correct. Fabrizio just said Liverpool really wants Mount. The question is, does Chelsea really want to sell Mount? So yeah, I get it. So it's nothing new there. It's just repeating everything we know. I believe once we sell some players and put some on loan, Mount will be registered, will be resigned, okay, so to speak. Let's see what else we have here. Mount is on 88K a week. That's not fair, really, if we're being honest. And he wants 100% of his image rights and a 3-year contract. Okay, if that's what you think that's the case.
Coach, let me quickly come here. It's you cannot say it's unfair. He was offered a raise. He was offered a new contract. He chose not to sign it. He chose to have a long-term strategy of running down the contract. That was on him. So you cannot call it unfair to him. He chose not to sign 2 years ago.
Well, yeah, I get your argument, and that makes sense too. Mount will regret leaving Chelsea. Here's the thing: as much as I'm going to say this, if you've ever paid attention to me, I don't think Mount is the best player at Chelsea. I don't think he's the worst either. I just think he's a good player. I think the biggest issue is that when managers should be busy, again, helping him become better, the focus was on his industry, how much running he does on the pitch. So with that, I think he isn't where I think he's capable of being today. That's just how I feel. It's half. Wow. That's you working for the government practically.
Coach?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. I haven't met the gentleman was just talking before. The J.
JC, yeah.
Yeah, JC. You got to understand, 2 years ago, Mount's got like, what is it? You would have had 3 years left plus in his contract. Why would anyone sign? You got 3 years left, and is that 2 years into a 5-year contract?
Yeah, but he was offered nearly double or more than double his salary.
He's been playing on peanuts for ages.
Yeah, but
he's
that's
on
the
what,
thing.
70K?
Now, so that's the thing. It's a question of money, and where is that optimum amount? Like, what are the parties thinking of? What is the figure each party is thinking of? And Mount is thinking not 180 or 250. It's definitely more than 300.
Yeah, whatever he's thinking. Yeah, you said he should have signed the contract double his money. At 140.
I mean, he also, if we have how the transfer market has gone in I think it was last summer, the value of players on free.
I think you're getting off topic. Listen.
No, see the market.
It's something you have to compare to.
I'm trying to explain it. It was the at that moment, this was the strategy taken by many players. There were 1.5
many
billion
Chelsea
players
academy players took this strategy, right, of waiting down to the end of the contract and negotiating playing time. That's how Hudson Odoi got playing time. That's how a lot of our youth got playing time.
You guys go ahead. I'll be back like in a few seconds.
Yeah, they put themselves in positions of power, right, towards the end of the contract, and that's how they got their move. That's how they got the things they want. Because coming out of the academy in this club hasn't been the best. So Mount did the same thing. So why would Mount sign a new contract when there's still 3 years left? You know, and you could say the same thing. Why didn't the club offer him that money on that contract that they were trying to renew after a couple of years? On the initial one. Why didn't they offer him that money?
I think you have a point there, but what we are looking at is situation right now.
He's in a position of power, is he not? Are you saying that isn't Mount in the best position?
Yes, he's
of
in
negotiation
a position for himself.
Yeah.
He's here.
Like if he doesn't sign for Chelsea, he's gonna get that money that you're talking about somewhere else. Yep. Even if it's not this year, he can get it.
Hello.
Sorry, did we lose everybody? Rodrigo, you there? Did we lose everybody? Okay, let me see where we're at. Mount, most important thing for the club is to not allow another situation happen where a player runs the contract down and tries to hold the club hostage in negotiations. Unfortunately, in the case of Mount, that's the case right now. If you're in the chat, let me know if you can still hear me. I had to take a sound dropped. Can you guys still hear me? If you're in the chat, let me know, please. I want to know. I'm sure the sound is still okay for me. Let's see what else we have here. Yeah, I can hear you, Bobby. Yeah, you wanted to come in? You wanted to say something? I can hear you.
No, I sort of lost some connection as I'm on the road. But yeah, are we still talking about Mount? Someone was saying he wants 300 or whatever. And I doubt that somehow. I really do. I don't see anybody paying him that, and I'm not sure he will ask for that. You know, there are many things that need to be considered. There's a way things work in this country that's very different to the United States, and earning huge sums is not always encouraged. You know, you probably end up being more beneficial if you do earn 180 as opposed to 300. It sounds ridiculous, I know, but the tax deductions.
I know, it's a crazy country.
It is. You know, your tax deductions are higher at that income bracket, and certain allowances are eliminated.
Rodrigo, when Bobby is done, hold the thought for me just for 1 minute. I'll be back.
Okay.
Once Bobby is done.
Yes. No worries.
So, you know, I don't know. You know, I don't know. This is a new one that he wants 300, 350. I don't know. You know, will he get it, as Declared said, if he's run down his contracts? Yeah, that seems to be possible. But, you know, I don't know. It depends on how valued he is by the clubs that want
I really think the stumbling block is the dad. I think the dad is probably not the biggest fan of Chelsea. I think that with the new agent, they might put him some sense in him. Like, say, listen, this is the best deal you can get here, and you'll settle here. You know, they're building a squad here. Maybe need also Graham Potter to guarantee him that he has a role. Obviously, maybe not a starting role, but he can fight for his spot. No, nothing is guaranteed in football, is it? You can't just say, okay.
If he wants to keep playing top flight football, he's always going to have to fight for his spot.
Yeah, whatever it goes, even at Liverpool, he's not just going to start.
Yeah, absolutely. He's always going to have to fight for his spot. So that shouldn't be an issue to him. He should be challenged by that. I do think it's his dad as well. I think his dad has seen money and is trying to maximize profits. And sometimes that's not the way to go, certainly in sport, because your performances give you the money anyway.
Exactly.
You know, if he earns, and he's a very marketable character, you know, people want to come and sponsor him. You know, people come for it. I think he should focus on getting his image rights more than his contract, to be honest.
Yes.
Yeah, Emery was sacked in Arsenal, though a success in Sevilla. He too might not just be a top manager. There's but again, I'm just saying. My argument then when we talked about him was that he's a better. I take him over Potter. JC is being hypothetical. Like whatever he said is being a possibility, and Mount rejecting the contract offered by Roman is reported. So 2 years ago, 180K isn't good enough. Why would it be acceptable now? Yeah, if that makes sense. So, but it brings out. JC's argument gives us some facts to work with. So I don't think it'd be acceptable now. That's why JC is proposing this theory of Mason Mount wanting 300K. If that makes sense, yeah, it makes sense. I understood that. If he wanted that much money, that amount, then I wouldn't say that much money because it's not my business how much he's asking. Then he should be looking for twice as much right now. And given that he has less than a year left on his contract, or a year plus, I'm not sure how long, he has all the cards like the Clyde mentioned, and probably could earn more if he go somewhere. Mount doesn't have that much leverage. We signed players in his position, and he hasn't been playing well. That may well be an issue for him. I don't know. I think it's better Mount leaves Chelsea because if Potter is still the manager, he will be forced to play even when he is not playing well by the fan base while leaving good players out. I don't think that's the case. And Wally Waldo, nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Please do let me know how you're doing. Always nice to see you. On the contract talks, Mount wasn't offered 180. he was offered 240 plus add-ons. The contract, this year or under Roman?
Everyone knows.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure. I want to know. Maybe Wally Waldo came in late because what Jesse was talking about, how much it was offered under Roman. But let's see. But maybe that. Yeah, it did drop. In all honesty, I hope Mount leaves. He cannot be a very good talent unless Kai or another center attacker leaves. Some argument right there. So he's rejected 180 contract by Roman. Now reports has it he's rejected 240 contract offered by Boehly. So where does this lead us? I see it beyond 250, possibly, maybe. So it makes sense to come to that conclusion. He's asking for such and such an amount. Thank you so much, Rahayu, the 343, aka the 343 dilemma. Nice to see you. Can hear you. Okay, thank you so much for saying that. Yeah, Sky Sports and Talk Sports have been saying he rejected 240 a week this time. Okay, thank you for saying that. Mount could have taken the increase when he was offered and would have been able to negotiate higher now. And you could argue his form doesn't help matters either. Okay, declared. Okay, bro, we'll talk later. Thank you so much. I appreciate you finding time to join. If he rejects that, what does he expect on Man United, Liverpool, or whoever to offer him? I think Man U, like Rodrigo mentioned, will probably pay him that much money. They pay some salary that I don't know why they're able to afford that at Manchester United. So yeah, I'm not really concerned about that. 240K a week is very good salary. But if it's not okay for him, he's the one that does the job. So let him ask for what he feels like is measures
Coach.
what the work he does. I honestly don't think
Coach.
it's about the money. I think it's about play time. I think that's the most solid of all the arguments right now.
Well,
what do you make of that, Rodrigo? Yeah, go ahead,
Coach,
Jay. You wanted to say
sorry
something
to-
before Rodrigo comes in?
No, Bobby.
Really
Oh, Bobby,
sorry to
was
cut
that
in.
Bobby? Yeah, go ahead, Bobby.
Sorry, I just wanted. I mean, both of them. If he's insisting on guaranteed playtime, then no, nobody gets that. What you talking about? Go
But do
somewhere
you think
else
that
if
will
you
be
can
his
get it there.
concern, given the players who
I
signed
don't think
Bobby?
so. He knows that's impossible. You know, how can we? This is a progressive club, and they're always going to go for the best. And it's up to you to up your game. If he goes to a club that guarantees him playtime, then I will question what sort of club that is. Number one. Number two, if he's asking for 240K a week, and that's a big if. I mean, if he was offered, 240K, and he said no, then, mate, what's your market value? Let's sell you. Because that is so unreasonable. That is ridiculous. He's not even that sort of player. Let's have it right. Let's be real. He is not that sort of player. Just as you said, he's a good player, but he's not an exceptional player. And he
He's not
can
the
get
best.
better, probably. He's not the best, really. He's not the worst, but he's not the best. And
Bobby, there's the
240
thing.
is,
He will end up getting this kind of money because when he moves, he
yeah,
has only
well,
1 year on contract. So somebody will
yeah,
be
let him get it.
taking that as an investment. So he will get this
Okay,
money.
let's let Bobby drop.
Honestly, if anybody out there, a top club wants to pay him that and give him a guaranteed starting place, well, let them have him. They have
Yeah,
more
but
money
I
than them.
doubt he will get anything close to 400,000, but 250, I think he will get it. And that's,
But
to be fair, what
he's been
Chelsea have
offered
offered.
240. He's been
Chelsea have
offered
offered him
two.
this amount. And that,
Well, this
I
is
think,
what someone has said. And if
yeah.
he said no, then that means he wants to go anyway.
Rodrigo,
240
No,
is
I
a
let's
think
heck of a
he
lot of
let's
wanted
let
money.
more.
Bobby let's talk one by one. Let's let Bobby drop.
Okay,
No, I was
sorry.
just saying, if it's true that he has been offered 240 and he said no, then that just tells me he wants to go anyway. So sell him. Get what you can for him. If someone else wants to pay him more, good luck to him. Honestly, as a club, there's a limit to how much people should hold you to ransom. And yeah, he's a Chelsea boy. I love Mason Mount. I like what he means to the club. But the club is greater than Mason Mount. The club was here before Mason Mount. The club made Mason Mount, and the club will be here after Mason Mount. So F you, crikey. What are you talking about? Really? 240 and you say no? Nah, please. Are you Messi or Mbappe? That is we're getting into that territory now. Who's gonna anyone paying him that? Good luck to you, honestly. That's just really that's taking the biscuit. I mean, if he says 240 and a 3-year contract, okay, it's worth considering because he will have to play up his worth. And if he's worth more, then fine. You know, they might have to find the money behind the sofa to pay him more. But if he's insisting that 240 is not enough, then really, sod you.
Yeah,
That's my
good one
opinion.
there. You wanted to say something, JC, before I go to Rodrigo. I wanted to talk about whether playing time is. I think to me this makes more sense. Even if they come to an agreement, he'll still consider this as a priority. But go ahead, JC.
Yeah, very quickly, I'll give you another example is Malang Sarr. I am not sure, but I think he had a very good salary just because he came on a free transfer. I think he had something like 180 or something like that.
I don't think it was close to that, but go ahead.
So he will probably get somebody to pay something like that, but I doubt close to 400,000. But he will get easily, I think 300. He will get from Liverpool or somebody because they are not any much amount of fee for him, and that's why I think Chelsea management is taking a decision and not waiting until he runs down his contract. Like we have to really decide now this summer, and that's it.
Yeah, go ahead, Rodrigo.
Oh yeah, the game time. Like what Bobby said, I think it's impossible for someone like this to command game time in his position. What has he achieved really? I mean, yeah, fair enough. He's won the Champions League, but he can't. It's not like he's a Neymar or a Messi that comes in and then you have to accommodate for his game time. So I don't think wherever he goes, even at Liverpool, he's not guaranteed game time. Yes, they can say you are an integral part of the team. We can say that to him. Yes, you are, but that doesn't mean you will be playing every game. I mean, in the past year, you did play every game, but now we've added to the squad. We've added quality that the quality that can help you, see you mount to achieve your target as winning major trophies. So you can't be guaranteed as a main starter. That could be an issue if we insert clauses such as performance clauses in his contract, and then we impose that on him and say, "Oh, so he might turn around and say, right, so you say I need to have, say, 20 goals and assists in a season. Why am I meant to do that if I'm not guaranteed to start games?" And then the counter argument, they're like, no, you have to prove that you've earned your place in the team. Once you've done that, you will keep your place in the team and you can achieve those targets, therefore getting your performance-related bonuses. I don't know how that's gonna work, but I think for me, I'm still thinking is the dad that want him to go. I think Mount. I don't know if I don't think he really want to go. I think Chelsea's still a priority for him, and like you said about game time, I don't know if that's gonna be an issue depending on how the managers. What they say, Graham Potter has a degree in emotional intelligence, so. Once you speak to him, I don't think that's gonna be an issue, because I just can't imagine any serious club that's gonna tell a 24-year-old that, oh yes, you're guaranteed to start every game, regardless of your form, you will start, even at Liverpool, even at United.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think it makes sense. The way you did put it. Let's see what else we have here. However, with benefit of hindsight, Mount probably cannot get this high wage due to his form. That makes sense. For his form does come into play. For me, based on our current form, he's not good enough to start for Chelsea. He will need it to earn that. Well, Toby, nice to see you, my Niger brother. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for finding the time to join in the show. Let him leave because he wants above Reece James's weekly salary. How do you know that's actually what he's asking? Let's talk about that. Sorry, guys. What have I missed? I had things I needed to do. You told me you are home, but yeah, you got to do what the boss of the house asks you to do, if you know what I mean. But that's, by the way, DJ. We're just still talking about Mount. Remember some saying he doesn't want 300 a week. Yep, that was debunked about 3 weeks ago. Kachula, you saying you don't think that's the case when Potter even said in his press conference he's playing Mount because Mount told him he was. No, we've talked about that before. Sorry, maybe I didn't read what you said well, or maybe wasn't paying attention. Then we were concerned because he kept playing him, even though he was underperforming then. But I'm saying maybe I said that isn't the case because at one point he dropped him in two consecutive games in a row, which made me start thinking, you know what? I think it is no longer about who mounts it or whether Mount wants to play it. Again, he's starting to pick people based on merit. So maybe that may have been the reason why I said that's not the case. Let's see what else we have here. 240K a week. That's making him basically on parity with the other lads earning big wages, probably earning more than a few if that's the case. 300 will lose 50% to tax, but players always have their non-for-profit charity to get more money back. There's always loopholes to exploit that and get more money back to yourself. Yeah, that's the truth. Man United wouldn't pay Mount that salary. They don't even want Mount. Are we living in Jupiter? I'm living in Mars, if that makes sense. Coach, if I were to have a theory and me being hypothetical, surely, okay, I would say Mason Mount sees himself as the apple of Chelsea. That's a chance that's the case. And let me remix this comment a bit. He probably sees himself, as he's arrived as a footballer. So higher salary plus guaranteed game time suits that kind of ego. Yep, it makes sense. That's why I love you, brother. Nice to always read your comments. If he wasn't Batley, he would have asked to be involved in transfers too. Yeah, and get some percentage of the Chelsea ownership. I get that. Let's see anything else. I'm gonna scroll to the very bottom, and then I'm gonna try to get your subsequent comments. And my bro, the Claude, is in the chat now. I want him to start fight with the Bluetooth again. Maybe I'd like to see that. It's still up to Mason Mount whether he goes or not. Yeah, whether he forfeits how much he can earn somewhere else if Chelsea and if they don't want to give him up enough, it's still up to Mason Mount whether he goes or not. Okay, twice. Okay. Coach. Oh, happy birthday to Nino. How did I forget that? The 50 million pounds man from Liverpool. And say what you like about Fernando Torres. I think you can say he gave us the value for the money after that goal that sealed the final place for us against Barcelona. That's enough. Our first Champions League. So you could say, yeah, I still would say he wasn't a flop at Chelsea, maybe. I don't know what else to say. But happy birthday to him, more importantly. If anything, he's a good person from what I've learned. But that's, by the way, happy birthday to El Nino. 400K a week for Mount. What's going on? Nobody said he is asking for 400K a week. The Beautiful Game says the club tends to start the same players every game and run a small squad. I can see him getting more game time at Liverpool. That's a solid argument until he gets mentally tired. Okay, I can hear you. Thank you so much. Let me see. Liverpool highest earners 350K a week, Mo Salah. Okay, I'm trying to get to the very bottom so we can switch topics. We're talking about Mount like he was like he's some sort of prime Messi, Ronaldo, or Ronaldo. And yeah, I get the argument there. But yeah, I get where we're all coming from. I agree with Rodrigo. The problem is Mr. Tony Mount, the father. You were listening all this while, and you have to talk about. Rodrigo, did you talk about Tony Mount a few minutes ago again?
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, was he listening all the while? I just had to respond to that. Don't forget that Tony Mount wanted Mace to leave. Yeah, Bobby did mention that before he got his Chelsea breakthrough. Kepa is not a good goalkeeper. We're not talking about Kepa right now, but we'll get to him. Why do you think Mendy was brought in? Long shot and crosses is not his strength, but Mendy at one point dropped form and was averaging a single mistake per game. I would put Mendy back. It would make sense. I would take that. He won the Champions League with us. Maybe he still has that confidence in him. Reece James wouldn't be happy if Mount gets above his wage. What do you think? That's why it's not easy to come to an agreement right now. Mason Mount needs to prove he deserves more than Reece James, but there's nothing that says he's asking more, if that makes sense. I agree, Chelsea all the way. Yeah, thank you so much for that. Anybody else want to talk about Mason Mount, or should we move on to the next topic? Okay, I guess we should move on. And here's the one here, Chelsea to include. I don't think anybody, you guys, but if you want to talk about this, it's funny, really. Chelsea to include U.S. men's national team star Christian Pulisic in bids to seal Victor Osimhen transfer deal with Napoli. And that's a tweet from our own DJ Saab. DJ is a transfer guru. You see that on the screen? That's from DJ. Quoting goal.com.
Doing this, including players in deals. How many times this works? It doesn't work. This is not.
It hardly does work. Yeah, go ahead.
How many? I can count on maybe one hand how many times I remember players being included. Because you have to Pulisic has to work on his own terms. Will Napoli pay him what we pay him now? Does he even want to go to Napoli? It's not gonna work now. It's not as simple as Pulisic plus money. Pulisic has the right to say, I don't want to go there.
Yep. Yeah. People think it's that simple. Say, add one player A, player B to certain deal. It's not that simple. Yeah, like Rodrigo just mentioned, the player would want to go. And plus, the player's value depends on what the club you're trying to get. Again, Napoli thinks how much they think Pulisic is worth. Plus, is Pulisic going to work in Italy? I don't really know. Maybe. We're not sure. Pulisic has been linked with a move to Atletico Madrid. And we had to tell people here, he's not Atletico Madrid's type of player. At least that's what we think. He's been linked to a move to Juventus. Yeah, go ahead.
Lukaku to Real Madrid.
Yeah. We've seen all those. Yeah, but I get it. DJ is quoting. Listen, DJ isn't really the one saying this. He's quoting goal.com. But I think this is something that would make sense. And like Rodrigo said, Rodrigo, you want to add anything to that?
No. He's a non-starter.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, that's one we move on we'll move on from that one quickly. But Bobby, if you have anything to say with this one we have on the screen, you go ahead. I'll get JC's start. Of course, Coach, I agree with you. Emery is better than Potter. Emery is a serial UEFA Cup winner. Yeah, I don't think there's anybody that's won that cup as much as he's done. I think with Sevilla specifically, right? Or has he won it with another club?
Villarreal?
3 times. Yeah, okay, it's on the screen actually. 3 times with Sevilla, back to back. Yeah, he's a serial winner and can make to just give him time maybe. We're now doing a swap deal of it's hilarious really. Napoli will ask for us to give them money to take Pulisic off of us. Yeah, exactly. That's who Laurientes is, and he doesn't care whether that makes Pulisic feel bad. He'll probably say it publicly. He said, "Give us money. I will take Pulisic for you." We tell Napoli Pulisic as first 9 to replace you. That's another way to see it. I don't think De Laurentiis will listen. Hi, when is Potter going to be sacked? I'll find out for you before the game, before the show ends, if that makes sense. Pulisic would do well in Serie A or La Liga. I would say La Liga, Serie A. I think people think Serie A is soft. It's not really soft. I don't know how to phrase that. But you want to add anything to what we have on the screen, JC, or should we move on?
To be honest, it's my personal opinion, but I'm not very convinced that we should buy Victor Osimhen. I mean, I think I'm not alone. I think Rogers is also, or Rodrigo. Rodrigo is
I am.
also.
I mean,
Yeah,
I agree with you.
because I think we have Nkunku and the.
We
I
still have
won't mind
Broya. We
actually
still have
having
Datro
somebody.
Fofana. Go ahead.
Yeah, I won't mind somebody with the qualities like Giroud had to hold the ball up front, to create problems, to create mess little bit in the the opposite defense, like this that kind of a player, and maybe like Fofana is can do that little role also as well a little bit, but I I I I understand that what we hear all the time is that club really wants to go for Victor Osimhen. But if you ask my personal opinion, I don't
I
think.
still don't believe that, but go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. But
I still, yeah, go
maybe
ahead. Sorry.
Rodrigo will add a little bit more because with his football know-how. But I think in Chelsea we would be better off with the more physical. Here's the thing: Victor Osimhen is also physical, but he's playing in Italian league, so British.
The
I would
only thing
prefer.
I'll say is because again, we always go back to the manager because we don't know exactly how this manager really wants to approach. We haven't seen his identity. But if you go by what
there's
he's
no
done,
clarity.
there's no clarity because if you want to go back what he's done in the past at Brighton, where he didn't have a striker like Osimhen in his squad, or he never really signed a striker. Even in an interview, I remember him saying Chelsea thought to resolve the goal scoring issue, they just went in and signed £100 million striker and thought that would solve it, but that's not really the case. To me, it sounds like he's a manager that if it's down to him as well, he doesn't really go with traditional strikers or even strikers per se. He lacks a fluid approach where the front three are interchanging their position and so on. In an ideal world, I think that's what he would probably do. But again, knowing that he get a lot of injunctions from the board. So if the board really want to go for a striker, and everyone in the media have been saying, "Oh, Chelsea need to sign a striker," I think they will end up signing a striker. Again, we're gonna be in that position where you have a striker, but we not create enough for the striker because the way we approach games, the way we create the chances, is now we can't even say when you look at us playing, right? There's no consistent way of how we create chances. So for you to say, right, if we just put a striker in this team, we're definitely gonna score more goals. I can't see it. All the goals that we score come from individual brilliance. The system is not there yet for a striker to really feast on the goals. Look at Man City. You could clearly see that Man City just needed someone in the box to finish off some of those chances. And they went in and got Haaland, who's the best in the business, because you could see how they attack, how they have these cutbacks in the box, and they score lots of goals like that. But we don't know. Do we cross the ball? Are we a crossing and people say crossing an inshallah team? Are we a team that I don't know? I don't know what kind of team we are. So I don't know what kind of striker we need. So to put in Victor Osimhen for 120, 150 million pound in for him to imagine Osimhen away at the Etihad in a game where he's probably going to have 7 touches of the ball, probably going to miss a chance. Just imagine that. Imagine the conversation then. I've seen this movie so many times.
You still remember the part 1, right?
Yeah, I still remember the part 1. I still remember that.
Lukaku is the part 1.
I remember
we still
where
PTSD of that one. And we want to shoot part 2 of it.
I think if it's down to me, if the board came to me, so Rodrigo, what do you think we should do in the summer? I'll tell him, listen, Mr. Boehly, get me a DM, get me someone that can partner with Enzo, someone of high quality. If you have enough money and he fits in all the financials, try to sign Felix. If not, let him go back to Atletico Madrid. And also, we need a really good goalkeeper. I think we can't do another year of Kepa. We need to close the gap to Arsenal and Man City. And a goalkeeper can win you 15 points a season. That could be a difference. So get me those 3 players, and then we need to offload a lot of players. I think we should be all right. And then we can review the striker position halfway through the season in January, in a view of signing one in the summer, if we've seen a clear identity from the manager that he actually do need a striker.
I would add only one thing. Before you go on and buy, if eventually we do buy a forward or striker, we should really retire the number 9 jersey. Because Aubameyang came and said like he doesn't care, but you know that the bite of number 9 was even harsher than on him. So I mean,
yeah, he should have been humble. He should have been humble.
And just to be clear, that is us not saying Osimhen is a bad player. No, he's not.
No.
Apart from that, it's just we're not sure it's going to work for him at Chelsea. If we had Jose Mourinho, I'd say bring him in, buy Osimhen immediately, and he will be firing us. And Napoli will be very stubborn, that's for sure, to release Osimhen. Says Kevin Murilla. That's fact. Get me Ivan Toney. I'd rather Ivan Toney. Serie A isn't as physical, more slower league. It might suit Pulisic, maybe. Let's see. But Pulisic is really, really good when he's on form. So I think we should give him more time, and there's a chance he stays. Plus, it means he's more than just a footballer for Chelsea. Fofana is going to be on loan. Which of you mean Datra Fofana? That may well happen given the way things are going. Ivan Toney or Kolo Muani. Ivan Toney for me. Marcus Thuram or Murphy, the Nigerian guy you've talked about. We cannot get to Simham. I don't think we're spending that much money on Simham also. Thuram, I don't think wants to come to us, and I haven't researched Teremi. Is it Terim Murphy? I have to be honest. Mount is not in a good form to earn 240k, but if he was offered that and he refused, then I think he should leave. But we're not sure how much has been offered. If we're being honest there. One thing I worry about Osimhen is that he rarely played 90 minutes. I haven't even paid attention to that, and that's worrying, really. People, if you're watching, if you haven't, take a second, drop a like on the stream, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The likes do go a long way, and if you subscribe, fine. But if you just enjoy watching without subscribing, if that's what you want to do, excellent. Just enjoy. You viewing does go a long way. Manny saying he doesn't want to see him, but then given all Osimhen qualities that he wants. He's an excellent player, but the concern is, will he work at Chelsea? Look at Aubameyang, how it panned out for him. It's lack of services is one of Aubameyang's greatest problem at Chelsea, if that makes sense. For you, Colomani, would love it. Okay, first thing you would say is get rid of Potter. Start from there. If Osimhen wants us, then I'm all for it, but I'm not sure he'd want to. He wants to, given everything we're hearing. He's saying a picture of him wearing a Chelsea shirt has emerged. He idolizes Drogba and all that. Kachila, I prefer Goncalo Ramos over Osimhen. Good luck dealing with Benfica again. I want a fast, technical forward like Kolo Muani, Mukoko or Alvarez. Osimhen first choice. If not him, then go for Dusan. Vlahovic. Okay, different kind of a striker, but I just want someone who is very clinical. It's as simple as that. Goncalo Ramos is better, guys. Why we're ignoring him? We're not ignoring him. It's not up to us. It's up to the club. And we heard we've been linked with him.
You want to go negotiate with Benfica again?
Yeah, exactly. Good luck doing that. And we've been linked with Goncalo Ramos. We've talked about him here.
Yeah. Another thing, look at the manager. He's struggling to coach a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1. Do you want to put a striker? We don't have space in the team anymore.
Yeah, we don't have space, being honest. You have to make space to accommodate players. We need 24 more likes to get it to 100. I think we can still go a bit because my wife has agreed to take my boys to school, so we can talk for a bit. We still have some topics to get to before we round up. I haven't compared both players. If Chelsea buy a striker, Potter will not be the manager. And maybe that may well happen. Rodrigo, you're waffling. You're waffling, bro. Rodrigo, I hope you don't mind me reading this. First, the system is not. It's not there for how we play.
Didn't get my point.
Then we're playing a fluid system. Make up your mind. I think here's the thing: Chelsea all the way is a big fan of us going for seeing him. Why don't we go for Tourné? His Premier League proven. That's no guarantee, really. But at least it gives you some confidence. No to Goncalo Ramos. No to someone who's as you've shown. Excuse me. You said something about that, and I'm glad I didn't look at it. So Rodrigo, what you want to respond to that, or you want?
Yeah, I was
to
just gonna mention. No, yeah, I understand what the guy's saying. No, I didn't say we play a fluid approach. I say Graham Potter are Brighton. That's the approach he has, and also my personal opinion. When I watch teams, I prefer a team that has a fluid approach. I'm not saying we have that yet.
Yeah, understood, brother. What else do we have to talk about here? Let me bring this up. Go through here. This one. This is the next topic here. Okay, Rodrigo, I'm going to start with you. That's an interesting one.
Oh, this guy.
Wesley Fofana. What do you make of his situation? He's injured again, even though he's going to be out just for 10 days. It's concerning. Is it time to start saying he's injury prone, or do you agree he's still young? And we'll move beyond.
I don't get
at
this.
some point, we'll overcome that.
Hamstring in his thigh. Is there any medical?
I'm not sure what to make of that. But your thoughts, really?
I don't know. They say it's only 10 days. You know, with Fofana, so that should be like 2 weeks. It's just disappointing. I mean, I'm at least I'm happy, even if it's 2 weeks. I mean, he might be back for the Wolves game or Liverpool in midweek when we come back from international break. So it's fine. He's gonna miss stuff. I don't care about national team, to be honest. So I'm happy he's gonna miss that game, anyways.
I'm happy he's going to miss it. But would you say he's injury prone or not? Or
yes, he's injury prone.
A lot of people think he's going to overcome that. But even if you think he's going to overcome that, still he's injury prone.
Go ahead, remember, Robin was injury prone, and then later on in his career, he became more consistent. He overcame that. So yeah.
So what do you think we should do with him? Do you think?
We need to
some people are already saying
before the Madrid game. We need to protect him because we need him for Madrid.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, we have to. He's an excellent footballer, but that's his injury history is really concerning. I hope he overcomes that. But JC, what do you think? And if you're in the chat, what do you make of the situation?
See, first of all, I don't believe hamstrings can. If it is hamstring, like it's 1 week or 10 days. It's usually more than that, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, hamstring in the thigh. So I think something is.
Hamstring in the. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe someone enlighten me, please, in the chat.
I'm not a medical expert, so there's no way to know.
You know, maybe he had cramps and they want to give him a rest, so they had to withdraw him from the French like national team. So they probably we are speculating, but definitely, I mean, we have to wrap him in pillows for the match against Real Madrid, get him ready, because without him, I think we will be slaughtered there. That's the main concern right now. I think in the long term, he's still very young. He will gain strength. He will gain muscle, and hopefully he will be fine. It's too early to. Yeah, I think he's too young to be already judged as a injury prone. You know, and there are some injuries who in the early years, which over the years they go. I know my son had a problem, like he was 18 years old, and then the physiotherapist said, like, after 22 or something, this problem will be solved.
But not hamstring in the thigh. I haven't had that, even though I'm not a medical expert, but it sounds strange to me.
But what, like for example, he was told like my son had a difference in length of his legs by half a centimeter, so he was constantly injuring his calf muscle. And then they said, so he had to do a lot of stretching exercise while he was young, and he had to play through the pain. And then when I asked the specialist like how long will this be? Is it for all time? They said no. Normally, this will become once he matures at 21, 22. This problem will be gone. Will be gone.
Okay, I hope so. I hope that's the case. Thank you so much for saying that. Ivan Toney or Jonathan David for me. I don't think we need Jonathan David. We need to mix it up a bit. We need, if we're going to do anybody, Ivan Toney maybe he's a bit more physical than Jonathan David. Otherwise, we'll still be all soft in the attacking area. We need to mix it up a bit. But I'm still concerned if we're calling for the club to sign a striker, we must be specific. What sort of striker? What profile of striker? Alvarez and Enzo would work well. Okay, this is rough. I think coaches need to play him like 3 games, then a one game break, then probably a substitution, then resumes 90 minutes game time. Maybe it's a good suggestion. Take it slowly. Like I agree with Rodrigo, we shouldn't give up on him, and we must not forget the case of Ian Robin. He left Chelsea, and the rest is history. So let's give him time. I think. He like everybody have agreed. Even Jesse used an example, his son as example. He will become. I think he will overcome that with age. Let Fofana rest. That will help. Getting rid of Zakaria is not a good move. Potter has a selection issues, which is costing us in performance. Here's the thing. One thing I want to say. We need a DM like Rodrigo is crying out for. But does it look like Potter wants to use DMs? I don't know. Maybe he'll make an exception. Yeah. Even though N'Golo Kante is traditionally an 8 or more of a hybrid of 6 and 8, maybe when N'Golo Kante comes, he makes a difference because even if you start N'Golo Kante as a number 9, he still does a defensive job from there. He still reads the game and still breaks up opposition play there. Because Potter, maybe even if he hasn't got Kante as one of the 260s, application will still be attack. Nobody will be a bit more defensively minded to ensure that the opposition don't hit us on a break and get us. I don't know, Rodrigo, it seemed like you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I've got a theory saying the owners want to see a team playing a back 4, hence why they sign all these attackers. And for us to facilitate that, we need a more defensive-minded midfielder. You call him. You can call him a DM. You can call him a hybrid 6-8, but who has more defensive attribute, i.e., Caicedo, for example.
We need that. Yeah.
We absolutely need it because in games that we play in a 4-2-3-1 with Enzo and Kovacic, he wasn't working because the midfield was getting bypassed easily. And if he doesn't do that, if we don't get a player in that defense who has more defensive attribute, we're gonna struggle to fit in all our shiny new toys, the Madueke, what's this guy, the Ukrainian guy, Mudryk, Sterling. We're never gonna be able to see all of them playing at the same time because the balance is not there. This is why we always have to play back 3, back 5. So this is why I feel like the owners really wanted to see a back 4, because why would you go and sign all these wingers and all these attackers to just play a back 3? So to accommodate that, that's what I say to Mr. Boehly, get us a DM, get us someone that can do both roles but has more discipline that can help our Enzo. Otherwise, forget it. You're never gonna see your shiny new toys all at the same time on the pitch because it's just not gonna work.
Yeah, it wouldn't indeed. I think we need, like you said, we need somebody, one of the 260s to be defensively minded. Even what we have now, I know that's how Graham Potter likes to play. Enzo and Kovacic combo, they are excellent offensively, but whenever they're on the pitch, in most cases, we only get the ball when the ball gets to our defense or with those on the flanks. Or you can see literally, I know, Rodrigo, I don't know if you've noticed that, literally Fofana and Koulibaly playing like 6s. You see them dip in the midfield coming there to win the ball. And that's because the 2-6s, they're not reading the game. They're not doing their job. That's why you see them that further forward operating like sixes there. Sell him to Liverpool with Mount. The Undertaker CFC, nice to see you. Wesley being hurt a lot is why I still want to see Josko join Chelsea. I don't think we'll be signing Josko given the price. It's a signing that wouldn't make sense and could may well lead to the Levi Cole saying, I'm not signing a new contract. It's not injury prone. And when you have a long layoff, you tend to have small injuries. Okay, maybe that's the case, but I hope that's the case. Didn't we hire a hamstring expert? We have experts for everything, but
yeah, we just don't have a coach. We have a tactical expert. That's all. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe we should hire a tactical expert too. Maybe that will help. That I don't know the reason for that. I'm not sure what the person does. So I don't know if that would have made any difference anyway. But that's an excellent contribution there. Chelsea is not prepared for Osimhen right now. We will need a lot of adjustment to accommodate him. That's my exact argument. That's not saying Osimhen is a bad player. If we get him now, he will struggle. And if you try to get him to play like in a fluid up front three, which means it's not the focal point, he gets frustrated. Wesley Fofana is injury prone. Like it or not, again, I get your argument. I think once we get a CDM, we will go to a back four at the back. Graham Potter, he's a three at the back man, really. Go check out his Brighton days. He played predominantly. I think he mixed it up quite a lot, but mainly he played with a back three. Correct me if I'm wrong. But let's see, Rodrigo. The owners want to play 1-7-7 formation. Maybe. Which player suits that profile at Rodrigo? Anyone in mind? Rodrigo, question for you.
I don't know which one. Is he talking the midfield?
Sorry?
Is he the midfielder, yeah?
No, I think he's talking Rahayu, I believe you're talking about the attack. Since we're talking, I think we were talking about the Simha, so I'm not sure.
Oh, if that obviously this is a pipe dream, it's not gonna happen.
Okay, he said yes, midfield.
Midfield. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Personally, because I want a DM, right? I would have gone for Ugarte. He played for Sporting Lisbon. Every time I've watched this guy, I've just been so impressed. He's so good. And the kid at Southampton. But for me, the only thing with Lavia is too young, and when I see him, he's a bit short. I want to have someone that's, because Enzo is not the tallest, so we want to have someone that's quite tall, so to win us aerial duel.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the two really, Ugarte or Lavia. I'll take both. I'll even take both of them actually.
Yeah. I think Lavia is too young. We need to mix it. We need to experience more experience.
So for me, Ugarte is also young. He's like 21 or 22. So we definitely. Yeah, but Ugarte is very good. I like him. I like him. I like the way he plays.
Rodrigo, what would you say of Declan Rice? Like he's been
Declan Rice. Declan. The only thing with Declan Rice I heard is he just want to go to Arsenal. I think he doesn't really. He sees like Chelsea are in chaos. They're not really. He doesn't really fancy the project that we have here. But I will take him. It will be like my third choice. Yeah, I'll take Declan Rice as a third choice.
Yeah, in Potter State, I'd say there's a chance we're not going to sign any midfield players.
Yeah, there's a big chance. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what else we have here. Sorry, JC, were you going to say something?
No, I just wanted to ask Rodrigo his thoughts about Declan Rice, because I think Declan Rice would fit well in the system, but it's going to be very hard to get him this.
Unfortunately, you have two panelists who don't think the same. So you're in trouble. But I get that Wesley Fofana is injury prone player, like it or not. By the way, again, it's my fellow countryman from Cote d'Ivoire. You have the name of Fofana. You have Cote d'Ivoire of the Saints. So you're from Ivory Coast, my African bro. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. No, we need a data respect. Thomas Frank is a good fit. Thank you so much. Go get him. To coach your community team, not Chelsea. We need two midfielders and a striker, Casado, Paulinha, or Florentino Luis and Osimhen, if Zakaria, Mount Kovacic, Oba, Ziyech, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Gallagher, and more are leaving. It's hard to tell who leaves, really. I fear Chelsea is falling behind. Yeah, we're already behind. We're trying to catch up right now. Yes, midfield again. Yeah, he's talked about that. If the owners want us to play with a back four, they should get us a CDM and Luis Enrique. Okay, let's see what happens.
Yes.
Florentino Luis or Paulinha, flanked by Enzo and Casado, would be solid with a back four.
Yes.
Okay. It's true, Coach. Our defenders go so far out a lot. Yeah, they do. And the fans want to jump on Koulibaly. No, I think he's doing probably, again, if we had better DMs, I don't think he'll be going that far to go get the ball. But our DM, the 2-6s we play right now, not DMs.
Sorry, Coach. I've got a work call. And again, thank you for the stream. And
more thanks to you. More thanks to you, brother.
Keep liking and subscribe to the channel.
Much love. Much love. Thank you, brother. See you later. Don't forget Andrea Santos. Like I said, lots of these players, I think there's a chance we don't sign any other player in the midfield area, but we don't know. Let's see what the club does. If the owners want to play a certain way, let them buy FIFA or football managers. Yeah, it's as simple as that. You cannot be telling the manager what to do. Rice is overrated. I wouldn't say overrated. I know he's a good player, but I really don't like him as a player. I'm not spending more than 70 million for Rice. I don't think he goes for that anymore. The Rose Rice. Okay, that's a good one. I wouldn't even get Rice. He's extremely overrated. A lot of people say that. Chelsea in the mud for 5 years forward. I don't think so. I think we'll be all right. Coach, maybe the new mentality coach will be the new groundsman. Maybe that will go a long way. Let me see what else we have here. The last topic of the day. Where did I lose that? I can't find it. Let's just talk about this man right here. I think that will be fine. I would have loved to talk about Lukaku, but let's move on from Lukaku. Even Mendy, maybe another time. But just see your thoughts. That comment from Todd Boehly, that it's SHIT and then FU whatever game. What you make of that? The frustration. Was it at the club, or at the form, at the current team's current form, or do you think at Graham Potter? What you just I want to get your interpretation of that. And if you are in the chat, I want to get your interpretation of Todd Boehly's response to fans outside Stamford Bridge when he said it's a crappy,
I know
it's a crappy forging game. Your thoughts?
No, I won't recommend or suggest to give make anything out of it. Obviously, we had a draw. He was just coming out of the stadium. So as any Chelsea fan, he would be not happy and just kind of a first reaction, knee-jerk reaction. Okay, we drew in the last minute. So nothing like any deep meaning or anything like that. He was just unhappy. And that you can understand. Totally.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say there is any deeper meaning or anything we can take from this. No, the guy was unhappy. We dropped points and we let in a goal at the last minute, so it felt like a loss. Everybody you talk to any Chelsea fan, everybody was frustrated. Actually, even Graham Potter was frustrated, and so was he.
Yeah, so it makes sense. Yeah. Hello to you too, Miss Lano. How are you doing, my sister and good friend? I hope you're doing well. Whatever you're going to stay strong. Stay strong. Again, we love you, and we want to see you start creating more videos so we can watch it and do a live stream on your end. And we'll have all the panelists here join. Would love to do that. We love you in the community. You know that. I know life is not straightforward. And crap can happen anytime, but stay strong. You will overcome most definitely. And if you haven't, please go check out Miss Alana's YouTube channel. Click the 3 dots to her name, then click go to channel. Go there, subscribe. Let her know I sent you. Let's keep supporting her. She's been great with the content, but some situation is really, really again trying to pull her back. But we want her to stay strong and keep making content. If anything, remember we love you, and we can't wait to start doing live streams on your end. If you can host one, believe me, I'll be one of the first to jump on, and I can get other panelists to do so too, because you're one of us. But much love to you, my sister and my friend. Rodrigo wants bodybuilders as our midfielders, taller and big. Bobby wants the same too. The big man himself, Todd Boehly, our legendary owner. What a man he is. I think I like that man, really. I think he means well. But they've made a few mistakes, which I believe he'd learn a huge lesson from. I don't think they'd ever offer any manager a long-term contract anytime soon again. That will be never happen again. Potter will be the next first manager. Okay, I hope so. Like mentioned earlier, for a man of his stature, he could have phrased it better instead of. How would you prefer him phrasing it? I think for me, I just wanted us to talk about that, but I get your point. Maybe he could have said, you expected him to say something to the effect of we played well, and he expected us to win that one, but we were a bit sloppy, so we considered 2 goals we shouldn't concede. Maybe that's another way to phrase it. But let's see if anybody else thinks the man should have phrased that differently. Player, hater of my players. Big up, coach. Big up to you too. I hope you're doing well, brother. How have you been? Panda, I haven't seen you in a while. More importantly, do let me know you're doing well. Sports always takes our projects, but then getting Kante is something I never thought would happen. Kante hated Chelsea, so would jump on any opportunity to coach a team that Chelsea fans will feel bad for. We would have gotten Kante. I don't want Kante's second coming at Chelsea. I don't think it will work. But coming back to Todd Boehly's comment, do you think it would have been better off phrasing his response differently?
Probably, maybe, but I didn't take a closer look at the picture. Was he carrying a coffee or a pint? Like
I think he was more. I think it's a coffee. He always has a coffee in his hand.
No, I can debate that. So I've seen him with a glass of beer. So.
Was it? I think there's one with a bottle of beer, but that may have been Photoshop, even where the picture was taken. But I'm not sure. But you go ahead with what you were saying.
Yeah. So no, I didn't. It was a moment where he was probably caught off guard, during the night, just walking home, and suddenly somebody. So I don't think he realized that he was on tape. So it just happened.
Yeah, I agree with you. Much love again to Miss Alana. If you haven't clicked the 3 dots to her name, click on go to channel. And Miss Alana, if you can, please do share the link to your channel so that people can go check it out. I know they will enjoy that. The comment was for Potter 100%. Okay, Kante would whip these guys into shape. I know he would, but it doesn't last. He will not last at Chelsea. And there's a chance what he won with us with Chelsea, there's a chance that may have been a fluke, because he seems to have struggled at Tottenham. He's still struggling. And he signed a few players. It wasn't like they didn't sign him players. They signed a few good players, and I don't know. I will be catching up over here. I have missed a lot about Chelsea. You need to. We love you, and we need you to start making content. Start a live stream. Invite us all, and we will be there. I think it will take your mind off whatever you're going through. Honestly, do you think we should get Kante if he gets sacked by Spurs? I'd say no, and I'm going to keep saying no. And if you're watching, if you're in the chat, let me know what you think. JC, how about that comment? What you make of it? You want to see that happen?
No, maybe maximum as a caretaker, which is not happening. So, no.
And he won't take the job as a caretaker manager.
Yeah, because he might, if he takes on the caretaker job, he might go past Real Madrid, But he's not going to take that. So.
Yeah, I don't want him at Chelsea. I don't think it's a good fit for us.
I don't think players like Mudryk will have problem with him because Mudryk is always in the gym, as we are told. So running marathons under Conte, players will be running marathons every day.
So yeah, Mudryk is his type of player, and probably will start playing him in the wing back position.
Yeah. No,
I
but
think
Conte
I can see him do
is
that.
very demanding, and you know he needs everything in place, everything in place. I mean, even in the coffee machine has to be standing there. If it is not standing there, then we lose. So
Yeah, if
he
it
wants
wasn't that
everything
we're
according.
talking about coaching, if it
Yeah,
wasn't the fact that we're talking about coaching, I would have started as saying he micromanages, but that's coaching. The way he stands on again, dictating the play like from it
yeah.
to the minute details, asking players where to pass the ball, where to make a move, and all that. But that's, by the way. Let's see what else we have here. Imagine spending 600 million and watching crap. The comment was for Potter. Totally understand, brother. Boehly out under him. We have lost our DNA, which is keeping the head coach under pressure to deliver. I don't think Boehly leaves. He's the one of he's the a co-owner of the club. So yeah, that's, by the way. Anything else you want to talk about before we call it a day, JC? It's been an excellent
No,
discussion
only
of.
just the last comment. I mean, it's not Boehly who is giving the pressure to the to the manager. It is
Mhm,
the pressure is coming from outside the club mostly. Boehly
mhm.
is standing by him. But yeah, okay. It's a change. The club is in a phase where we going through a change. Changes are always hard. We
Mhm.
will be fine. We will be fine.
Yep. Thank you so much, Jesse, and thank you to everyone in the chat. Jesse, I can thank you enough. Declared who was on here before, and Rodrigo Rogers. I appreciate him. I appreciate you, KF. I appreciate Chelsea all the way. Panda, my bro, and Mr. Lano, my good friend and sister. Always nice to see you. That makes me happy. God of Frogs, Kante, again, I appreciate you, God of Frogs. Anybody else? And I miss here. Let's see. I've seen Panda. I've seen Glenn, my bro. Rahayu, big up to you, my bro. Much love to you all. And Neri Hushford. Anybody else? My bro Chimera, also nice to see you. Kashan, the New York guy. Neil, I appreciate you all. Ike Icy, big up to you. Again, I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're good. And Chelsea T.I. died. Shoma also was here. Everyone else, if I missed your name, apologies. I'm only human. See you guys next time on. If we have an evening show today, maybe the evening show will come back, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure what date. Maybe today, but let's see what happens. Thank you. God bless us all, and bye.